pressure on countries, including the U.S.
Everyone understands that this is a very significant economic problem as you move forward here.
And I'm Joe Concha. I've got the final word on the Fox News Rundown.
Election season is heating up with former President Trump in battleground Georgia over the weekend.
With our leadership, every disaster Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have created can be fixed, and it will be fixed very quickly. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says the GOP must make Georgia red again.
I'm hoping that President Trump and Governor Kemp can repair the damage to win Georgia, a state, if we win, we're going to go that we're well on our way to winning 270 electoral votes. If we lose Georgia, it could be a very long night.
Connecticut Democrat Senator Chris Murphy tried to draw this comparison between the two parties in November.
So, yeah, I think there's going to be a clear contrast in this election between Kamala Harris, who's going to run on a platform to make democracy work better, and Donald Trump, who is promising to suspend democracy.
Beyond domestic politics, there are also serious concerns about a spreading conflict in the Middle East. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby defended the decision of sending more American assets to the region.
Look, when the Supreme Leader says he's going to avenge, we have to take that seriously. Now, I don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but we got to make darn sure that we're ready and that we have the capabilities in the region to be able to help Israel defend itself and, quite frankly, defend our own people, our own facilities.
As U.S. officials brace for Iran striking back after Israel killed Hamas's political chief.
I think that eliminating terrorists, Mike, isn't only justified, it's necessary.
House Majority Whip Tom Emmer is a Minnesota Republican.
You'll remember the Hezbollah leader, Fuad Shakur, was also eliminated after Israel directly responded to the murder of 12 innocent children. And that guy was actually responsible for the deaths of 241 service members in the 1983 Beirut bombing. So we certainly are praying for our friends in Israel. And I really hope this administration bucks the pro-terrorist faction of the Democrat Party to support Israel. We'll see. It is a time for choosing, Mike.
The worry now is there may be a larger scale war in the Middle East with Iran threatening Israel, Israel making moves within Lebanon. What about that?
Well, allegedly, in a call with Netanyahu this week, the acting president of the United States, Joe Biden, told Israel that they shouldn't count on the U.S. backing them up. I hope that's wrong. Because literally what Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and this whole administration is doing is siding with terrorists. And Netanyahu was very clear when he spoke to Congress within the last couple of weeks, Mike. He made it clear this isn't just about an attack on Israel and the Jewish state. This is an attack on Western civilization, which is why it should be so important to us in the United States to stand with our greatest ally, I would argue, around the world, Israel.
The United States has deployed additional forces into the Middle East region, given the latest news. Should that show of force be helpful in terms of calming things down?
Well, a show of force is one thing. It was helpful after October 7th when the two ships were deployed off the coast of Israel. It's okay if they believe that you're going to use it, Mike. Mm-hmm. But these guys have been so weak. These guys have been so feckless. The question is whether Iran or anyone else that would try to cause harm will actually believe that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will do something about it.
We saw just this last week the historic prisoner swap with Russia involving multiple countries to bring jailed Americans home. While undoubtedly great news for those American families, no doubt about that, does it worry you that it could put a target on the backs of Americans where these regimes may be looking to target Americans for hostage swaps?
Oh, absolutely, Mike. But more importantly, these guys, they worked hard to get a women's professional basketball player who was arrested for carrying an illegal drug with her in Russia. They worked harder to get her back home than they did all of these people who languished, in some cases, for 2 years. This is more, and by the way, you got to look at what they gave up. Yes, it was a multi-country swap, but what Russia was getting back were known assassins that had committed murder outside of Russia on behalf of the Russian state. It doesn't seem like a smart trade, and it doesn't seem like it doesn't show strength where they actually care what the U.S. thinks. They're just going to use any leverage they can get. So to your question, yeah, I do worry about that.
On Capitol Hill, Congress continues to investigate the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Do you think the hearings have been fruitful in terms of getting to the bottom of what went wrong?
What happened, it's just beginning, Mike. And what happened on July 13th was an absolute total security failure. As we know, President Trump was nearly assassinated. A former fire chief and family man lost his life protecting his family, and 2 others were critically injured. And while Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle's resignation was an important first step toward accountability, many more questions need to be answered. And I do believe, frankly, I have no doubt that our task force is going to get to the bottom of it.
Former President Trump and Vice President Harris seem to be at an impasse right now over holding a presidential debate. How important is the debate for this election cycle, and do you expect them to agree to at least one debate?
I think it's very important for Kamala Harris. She needs to show the country that she is competent and that she is coherent and that she can actually talk about economic growth and foreign policy and all the things that are important to Americans right now. She's not even talking to reporters, as far as I can tell. And that is because I believe, one man's opinion, she is not up to the task. She is not the top student in the class by any means. Frankly, I practiced law for 20 years. I would have loved to have gotten into the courtroom with Kamala. I do not believe that she has ever actually tried anything on her own successfully. I'm sure somebody will do that research. I think America needs to see her up front and personal. She's been behind the scenes the entire time, apparently involved in running this disaster, Mike, that is the Biden-Harris administration, 20% inflation. Average American is spending an additional $1,000 a month because of their broken economic policies, a wide open southern border that has crime consequences in every town across this country, and a foreign policy that has frankly it's just been so weak that we've got all of these fires around the world. I think she does need to stand in front of the American people and have this debate with Donald Trump.
We're told your governor, Tim Walz of Minnesota, is on the short list to be a potential running mate for Harris. What do you make of that?
Wow. Tim might be a nice Midwestern guy, but he's an empty suit. I mean, you're talking about essentially a gym teacher who became the CEO of the state of Minnesota. He knows absolutely nothing about business. He just, and by the way, I call him a gym teacher activist because he was a teacher. And he thinks that he's supposed to be on the picket line every day. He's the CEO of the state of Minnesota, Mike, and as the CEO of the state of Minnesota, he's supposed to be working for every Minnesotan, not just the radical Minneapolis radical left, which is what he's been doing for his entire career. This guy, if he's on the ticket, it's going to be a gift to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
The polling right now suggests Vice President Harris has closed the gap on former President Trump. Is that just a honeymoon phase? And when you start digging into her record, do you expect that to change?
Oh, I mean, the latter part of your question, yes, I do expect it to change. Right now, though, is not surprising. And I would tell people that August, they're going to get all kinds of good news. The media that is trying to prop her up is something that she is not, Mike. They're going to keep writing glowing stories. She's going to have more stories next week about her vice presidential candidate. She's going to have more stories about the DNC, the Democrat National Convention in Chicago the week after that. They're going to get all kinds of good news in August. And you know what that does to polling. And polling is just a snapshot. I believe that once you get through Labor Day, I'm not going to be looking at these polls until we get into mid-September and start down the home stretch, because that's when it matters. And that's when people will start to pay attention again and lock in. And they'll realize you got a choice. You can either go back to the Trump economy, the secure border under Trump, the peace around the globe, or you can continue something that I don't believe is sustainable, which is another 4 years of broken economic policy under Kamala Harris, of a wide open southern border, and leaving our allies holding the bag around the world. I think Americans will get that loud and clear as we get into September, Mike, and Donald Trump and J.D. Vance will be successful in November.
Of course, the race for the White House is critical, but there's also the balance of power in the House and the Senate. I don't need to tell you this. Conventional wisdom in Washington is frequently wrong, but the conventional wisdom is that Republicans could take back the majority in the Senate and could lose the House. Where are you on how things look at this point?
Well, that's laughable, Mike. I mean, the maps are pretty clear for the next 10 years. Republicans are positioned to hold a majority in the House over the rest of this decade. The question is just going to be how big that majority is. And this idea that that's conventional wisdom, I would suggest that some of these political prognosticators that make these goofy stories look at what the Democrat House campaign committee has done with their ad buys for the fall. Over 60% of their ad buys are to defend incumbents. Mike, if you think you're actually going to take a majority, you're going to put that money on offense. And they're clearly not doing that because they see exactly what we see. Republicans, the question is, how big will the majority be, not whether you're going to be in the majority. And I do believe we're going to get the White House and the Senate. So we're going to have an opportunity to put this country back on track starting next January.
What about the stakes in the House? Obviously, if President Trump is reelected, then you have the opportunity to move forward an agenda. If he's not reelected, then you guys become a check on the White House, right?
Absolutely. But we're preparing for the opportunity to do some historic things in the next administration. It's something that didn't happen back in 2016. Unfortunately, a lot of people in Washington did not expect Donald Trump to win in 2016. So when he did win, they weren't ready. The work to be ready on day one of the next Trump administration, Mike, started 2 months ago in the House. The idea is have this built, be ready to go, and on day one, we're going to have 100 days to do the things that we need to do to restore economic prosperity in this country, to seal the southern border, and to put an end to all this conflict around the world.
He is the House Majority Whip, Tom Emmer of the great state of Minnesota. Thanks so much for your time. Safe travels over this recess.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com.
For eligible individuals 18 and older only. Results vary. See JobraEnhance.com/try for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhance Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try. Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.
Colombo and Company.
It's going to be a busy week. The Dems VP announcement is expected soon. Tuesday is Election Day, and we've got you covered on all of it. Susie Moore is my co-host Monday, and we'll talk to Virginia Kruta from the Daily Wire at 2:20.
Live and local, weekdays at 2 on Newstalk STL.
Are you tired of establishment politics? Meet Adam Schnelting, your true conservative choice for state senate. Adam Schnelting, husband, father, soldier, and member of the House Freedom Caucus. Adam authored the legislation that ended abortion in Missouri and is the grassroots candidate Jefferson City fears. Unlike his opponent Phil Cristofanelli, who's backed by lobbyists and Democrats, Adam's support comes from right here in St. Charles County. It's time for real conservative leadership. Vote Adam Schnelting for state senate.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John Royal, Treasurer.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding 2-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Are you ready for positive change in Jefferson County?
Hi, I'm Billy Crow, and I'm running for Jefferson County Council because I believe in a brighter future for our community. I spent my life working hard and listening to the needs of our neighbors. Together, we can build better schools, safer neighborhoods, and a stronger local economy.
Billy Crow has always been there for our community.
I trust Billy to bring fresh ideas and real solutions to Jefferson County.
Vote for a leader who cares. Vote Billy Crow for Jefferson County Council.
I'm Billy Crow, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Billy Crow, Joyce Jenner, Treasurer.
Looking for the ultimate golfing experience in St. Louis? Look no further than Sugar Creek Golf Course. As the most popular golf course in the region, Sugar Creek offers 18 holes of challenging play, designed for all skill levels on rolling country hills with stunning views. But it's not just about the game, it's about the experience. Friendly staff, new Yamaha golf carts, freshly paved cart paths, and renovated clubhouse will make your day on the course a pleasure. Sugar Creek Golf Course, the perfect place to bring your team or friends together. Book your tee time today at sugarcreekgolfcourse.com. That's sugarcreekgolfcourse.com.
Where callers won't be canceled.
It's just so ridiculous and so offensive.
And we don't socially distance from differing opinions.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
I haven't always agreed with you.
Free speech is alive and well in America right here.
This country is worth fighting for.
That's why we're canceling those season tickets. That's why we're canceling those subscriptions.
I'm just so sick and tired of it.
Disgust us.
It's insanity, man.
This is News Talk STL.
Go big or go home.
All new episodes.
Looking at what we find doesn't tell the story.
One unforgettable season.
When you see how we find it, it'll ignite the engine.
My hands shake. A new season of Duck Family Treasure, streaming now on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com.
Look at what's happening from the Fox News Rundown.
Good morning. It's Monday, August 5th, 2024. I'm Ted Lindner. This is the Fox News Rundown. Debbie is now a hurricane as it heads towards Florida's Gulf Coast.
Debbie has been upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane. It's forecast to make landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast this morning.
Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer. The storm system set to bring a storm surge of 6 to 10 feet along portions of the Big Bend and bring historic amounts of rainfall across the Southeast, including in Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. And this is the week we're set to find out who Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate is. The Democratic National Convention now just 2 weeks away. I'm Ted Lindner. This is the Fox News Rundown.
This is the Fox News Rundown.
This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and newstalkstl.com.
On the next,
Larry Connors USA.
Another week closer to the Democratic convention, and will Harris announce her VP selection tomorrow?
Larry Connors, USA.
Now, weeknights 6 until 8.
On News Talk STL.
I'm Jim Bolin, running to represent West St. Louis County in the Missouri Senate. Growing up in Texas County, my dad always said, all hat and no cattle, about those who talk big but do little. I built a successful business, cleaned up City Hall as mayor, and now I'm ready to clean up Jefferson City. We need to jail repeat offenders, stop taxpayer funding for illegals, cut taxes, protect our children, and defend our liberties from the radical left. I'm Jim Bolin, and I would appreciate your vote on August the 6th. Let's get it done.
Paid for by Bolin from Missouri. Cindy Samagi, Treasurer.
Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at EurekaContracting.com. That's EurekaContracting.com.
Hey, barbecue lover, Tony Colombo here for my friend Jonathan Heslop and his company, Rockwood Lump Charcoal. If you're like me and log a lot of hours behind the barbecue pit, make sure you have a bag of Rockwood by your side next time you grill. You don't have to use nearly as much Rockwood charcoal as traditional briquettes, so your bag lasts longer, plus it burns cleaner, faster, and more evenly, providing a superior grilling experience. Use it once and you'll never want to use anything else. Rockwood Lump Charcoal is available at over 100 area locations. Find the closest one to you at rockwoodcharcoal.com.
Friends, Joe Biden's inflation is hitting us hard. Gas and grocery prices are soaring, and our paycheck buys less and less each day. But as your representative, I've fought for lower taxes, cutting wasteful spending, and bringing jobs back to Missouri. I stand for hardworking families, not Jefferson City insiders. I ask for your vote again so I can continue to fight for you. Vote Philip Olerking for State Representative, District 100. Let's make Missouri strong again.
Paid for by Phil Olerking from Missouri. Charles Barker, Treasurer.
The O'Reilly Update, brought to you by Seavers JCB. Visit them at their St. Peter's location.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, are you feeling the impact of the recent changes in the timeshare industry? My friends at Lone Star Transfer are the only company I trust to help you. For more than a decade, they have successfully helped over 20,000 owners get out of their timeshare with an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. Customer service is their priority. For a free consultation and a guaranteed solution, 855-551-7066 or go to LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Monday, as we all know, I mean, all of us who are conscious in this life, the American media veers left, sometimes sharply left, like MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, on and on. And press bias is everywhere, but sometimes it's hidden. So let me give you a very vivid example of bias in a deadly situation. So, as you may have heard on the news, Hezbollah, the terrorist organization based in Lebanon, launched a missile attack on Israel, and 12 children and teenagers wound up dead, 30 others hurt. That was worldwide news. But it was basically, this is what happened. Now, in response, the Israeli government killed one of the Hezbollah leaders in Beirut. And that story was reported quite differently. I heard it on the CBS radio news. And after they gave the details of the terrorist demise, they said, and some believe this might open a wider war. Well, the Hezbollah attack on the children, isn't that an entree into a wider war, CBS? You see the kind of bias here? Israel responds, and a wider war might happen. But the initial terror attack is reported down the line. Back in a moment. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. Car Shield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925 7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Staff Sergeant Mark Anthony Madrid.
Staff Sergeant Samantha Cowell.
I'm Staff Sergeant Alex
Staff
Keeler.
Sergeant William Lewis, and I am proud to defend my family and our nation.
The Air Force Reserve is part of the story of this great nation.
I'm grateful that I have a chance to wear the uniform of the heroes that went before me.
I'm proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference in the world.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as reserve citizen airmen. Even as technology evolves and changes, our commitment to defend and protect this nation remains steadfast. We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving. We celebrate our proud history and look towards an exciting and uniting future. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
And I am proud to be a member. And I'm proud to serve the United States.
And I am proud to protect our country.
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Live and local.
Well, here's what's on my mind. I think I got the solution to immigration.
News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's get the day started right. This is Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Monday. Oh, there we go. Now I got your mic.
Well, I was just enjoying watching you rock out there. That's why I wasn't speaking there. You got into that little guitar riff there for a minute there. How are you, Stel?
Pretty good, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. I'm love sitting in. Of course, this is not Mike Ferguson. This is Chris Arps from the afternoon show. Tim Jones and Chris Arps show filling in for Mike today. Mike will be back tomorrow, right, Stel?
Yeah, Mike's out of town visiting his mom in Kansas City.
That is right. So, Mike, enjoy your time with your mother there. And Stel, Gabe, and I will try to keep the ship still afloat here. Stel, we got a big news day today, news week. We've got, of course, the decision by Kamala Harris on her vice presidential pick.
Gee, who could that be?
We'll talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We'll talk about that. There are people saying there's two choices: Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona and Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania. But there has been a serious Oppo Research whisper campaign against him, trying to knock him out of the front running. We'll talk about that as well.
Okay.
We've also have. I'm worried about the stock market, Stel. Thursday and Friday, we've had 600, 700 point drops. I wake up this morning, the Japanese stock market, hold on to your hat, Stel, dropped 12.4%.
Oh, my goodness.
Overnight. That's 1987 level drop. Remember in 1987, we had the big crash. That was 12%. So,
really, Japan never really recovered from
exactly.
that.
So I'm kind of nervous at 8 o'clock our time when the New York stock market opens. Are we going to have a drop? And what I'm hearing still is there are huge concerns about inflation, the economy slowing down. That jobs report that we had Friday was absolutely horrible. Stock market and people that watch that type of thing are a little nervous.
Amazingly, the R word has shown up again.
Exactly, which I'm a little surprised since they have coronated Kamala and are trying to usher her into the White House. Of course, we have Tuesday's election, Stel. It's here. after all of the negative ads, after all of the town halls, after all of the radio interviews, the day of reckoning is tomorrow. Tuesday, of course, is the Missouri primary. We're going to have one of the candidates on at 6:05. He is State Senator Bill Eigel. Of course, he is running for governor. He's in a tight race with two other candidates, Mike Kehoe and Jay Ashcroft. Latest polls show that race tightening, and it's going to be one of these down to the wire races tomorrow, with a few races are going to be like that tomorrow, Stell. And then I want to talk about our guest at 7:05. We're going to call, and I'm going to take a wild guess in here. It's Zabo.
I believe so. I believe it's Zabo.
We'll ask him when he comes on. Carl Zabo, he's with Net Choice, and he's going to be talking with us about the Kids Online Safety Act, which, yeah, that sounds like a great thing, but it's not what you think. And we'll talk to Carl Zabo at 7:05. He is the VP and General Counsel for Net Choice, and we'll talk to him about the Kids Online Safety Act. Another thing the world is watching, and the United States is watching today, Stell, Iran has vowed to attack Israel over the killing last week of the Hamas leader in their capital. Many around the world, Israel, they are bracing for an attack possibly today. When I woke up this morning, did a little news research, the president of the United States, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, excuse me, was in the situation room talking about this potential situation of an attack on Israel. And you remember the last attack, I think it was 300 drones that they sent towards Israel. Of course, the Iron Dome and some of our fighter jets from our country and other nations helped blunt a lot of those missiles. But they could have learned something from that attack and could come with something different, and it could be more lethal. So, boy, we got a lot to talk about today. Gabe, of course, will be in at 6:05.
Yep.
What do we call that? The blackest black conservative talk radio in St. Louis? I don't know, whatever.
Oh, I would say in the USA.
In the USA.
With a Greek guy on the
With
side.
a Greek guy on the side. And a special treat for you when I have the honor and pleasure of guest hosting the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show. It's Motown Monday.
It
and
is.
so Stell has 10 songs. He hasn't told me what they are, so he's going to be probably taking me back to my childhood and to those days when my parents were dating in the 60s, little 70s. So I can't.
Yep.
I love Motown Monday.
That's right.
Stell, as a man of Greek heritage, you've been watching any of the Olympics at all, and what's your overall view?
I'll be honest with you, and I had mentioned this on, I think last Friday or Thursday. I have not watched much of the Olympics
Sacrilege.
Since 2004, when it was in Athens. And I was excited for that one, but I saw what the Olympics did to that city. It totally not just bankrupted Athens, but it was a financial disaster for the country of Greece. And the EU had to come in and help them financially to try to get out of it. They spent so much money. They add a new rail line going from Athens out to the venues. They built new venues, which have not been used since then.
Right.
So you can see photos of these deserted venues that are outside the city. And it was really a financial disaster back then. So I have not watched much of it. Yes, I saw clips of the opening ceremony, which kind of made me queasy.
Yeah.
And I have watched a few items since then. The sad thing is, the tough thing is, I want to watch some events because I've got some folks from my high school who are playing in men's and women's volleyball from St. Francis High School in Wheaton, outside Chicago. And just the fact that there are some connections there, I would love to watch, but I'm so ticked off at the way some of the stuff has been handled that I have to say, no, haven't watched much of it.
Now I was joking with you because I'm like, Stell, how can you be Greek and not watch the
I
Olympics?
know.
But I've got to be honest with you. I haven't really watched the Olympics since 96 and before that.
Yeah.
And I tell you, part of the reason that has really kind of made me lose interest in it is because, everything is so commercialized now. They've got to make a buck out of everything. So it's really hard for me to find where they are because it's on so many different channels and everything, like the Cardinals game. You can't find that at the time. And because of that, you just give up. And over time, I've it's like, okay, well, I missed them this year, and you just gradually lose interest. But I can tell you, I can remember just back in the day growing up, my first Olympics that I ever remember were the 1972 Olympics in Munich. And I was 6 years old still. And I said this on the show the other day. I can remember Mark Spitz winning all of those medals in swimming. I remember Olga Korbut was dominating for Russia on the as a gymnast. I don't remember the PLO taking the hostages and killing the Israeli athletes. I don't remember that part of the Olympics at all. I remember other things.
Yeah, my guess would be it was because you were a kid.
Yeah, I was 6 years old. But I had never heard of the Olympics, never seen anything like that before, of course. And I thought it was the most wonderful thing in the world that for 2.5 weeks, there's like different games on every night and different sports that you don't see, and just seeing the extraordinary skill of those athletes. And I thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
I think back to some of the stuff that happened when I was a little kid, and just like you said, not remembering the attacks at Munich. I remember there were certain things that happened in the late 50s, early 60s that were politically oriented.
Right.
That because I was a little kid, they had no effect on me at all, per se.
Well,
It's sports stuff, yes, but not political.
1972, if I remember correctly, you were a student at St. Louis University.
I was,
at that
yeah.
time. What were your thoughts of what was happening in Munich with the PLO taking hostages at something that's supposed to bring the world together, and the world's holding their breath for days, wondering, are these people alive? Are they going to kill them? What was your thoughts as a young college student?
It was terrifying, to be honest with you. And a lot of the protests that went on in the late 60s and early 70s, you had sort of that same feeling, at least we did on campus at SLU. And back at that time, West Pine Boulevard was closed off, so we had the quad available to everybody on campus, and you had kids from the dorms who would come out and protest in different ways on right where the library is, right off just west of Grand there on campus. And so it was a combination of being scared and terrified of stuff that would happen like that. And oddly enough, come to find out, when we moved out to Washington, we now have a close friend. Her husband was a cyclist in 72 at Munich. So he went through that whole tragic event, and it was pretty traumatic, to be honest with you.
Just think, Stel, 20 years later, Yasser Arafat wins a Nobel Peace Prize, which a lot of people, didn't feel too comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of blood on his hands. And you remember when the famous picture of President Clinton and Rabin, the prime minister at the time, and Yasser Arafat, the PLO leader, Clinton's like bringing them together, wanting them to shake hands. I think it was at some summit, and the Israeli leader was like, I don't want to, but I pledged that I would do this, and reluctantly, shook his hand, and he knew he was shaking a man's hand who had a lot Israeli blood on it. But the historic moment there, picture I will never forget. Stel, as I said, at 6:05, we will talk with Senator Bill Eigel on his campaign. Gabe will be in at 6 as well. So it's Stel and Chris Arps subbing for Mike on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. What happens next?
I won't be on the ticket, but I'm still going to be fully engaged.
Happens right here.
Go back and look at what she's done as vice president. Very little, if anything.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I'm Jim Bolin, running to represent West St. Louis County in the Missouri Senate. Growing up in Texas County, my dad always said, all hat and no cattle, about those who talk big but do little. I built a successful business, cleaned up City Hall as mayor, and now I'm ready to clean up Jefferson City. We need to jail repeat offenders, stop taxpayer funding for illegals, cut taxes, protect our children, and defend our liberties from the radical left. I'm Jim Bolin, and I would appreciate your vote on August the 6th. Let's get it done.
Paid for by Bolin from Missouri. Cindy Samagi, Treasurer.
Severs JCB has amazing deals on JCB mini excavators ranging from 2 tons to 10 tons. The choice is yours to take 5 on one of these great offers. Take 0% financing for 5 years or take up to a $5,500 cash rebate and 5-year warranty. See terms and conditions for details. These offers are for a limited time, so head to your nearest Severs JCB and check out their full line of JCB construction equipment or visit seversjcb.com.
Hi, I'm Judge Dennis Chasnall, and I'm running for Circuit Judge in St. Charles County. I have 29 years of legal experience and started my career as a prosecutor in St. Charles County, and I've also served over 20 years as a municipal judge in our county. I'm a member of the Assumption Parish and the O'Fallon Knights of Columbus Council, as well as the NRA. The most important thing to me is integrity, experience, and faith for St. Charles County. Please vote for Dennis Chasnall for Circuit Judge.
Endorsed by Steve Ellman. Paid for by Dennis Chasnall for Judge Matthew Renaud, Treasurer.
Drugs, illegal immigration, crime. There's no law and order, and a crisis at the border. That's the Joe Biden record. But here in Jefferson County, Sheriff Dave Marshak isn't having any of it. Unlike the hug-a-thug policies of St. Louis, in Jefferson County, Dave Marshak puts criminals behind bars where they belong. Instead of allowing the insane to fund the police movement to win, he's hiring more cops with better pay and actually backing the blue. Illegal immigrants and cartel drugs? Not in Jeffco, amigo. Sheriff Dave Marshak's plan is simple, and it's working. In Jefferson County, crime is down, and Jeffco families are safe.
I'm Sheriff Dave Marshak. Unlike Joe Biden as your Jefferson County Sheriff, we're putting more cops on the street. We're enforcing the law and punishing criminals, and we're sending Mexican drugs back where they belong. On August 6th, vote Sheriff Dave Marshak for Jefferson County Sheriff to keep Jefferson County safe.
Paid for by Dave Marshak Election Committee. Mike Pruno, Treasurer.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss as part of our lineup every week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. You can hear Doug and Safe Money Radio 3 times every weekend on News Talk STL. And in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com. What else do our listeners need to know, Doug?
Simply put, I focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees build, preserve, and protect retirement assets, and I've been helping my clients solve their insurance and financial needs for the past 33 years. I also strive to educate my clients on how to prepare for retirement, minimize the impact of market volatility on their assets, and deal with the challenges of increased longevity. Call me today at 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233.
Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP, member FINRA and SIPC.
Biden's border crisis, China buying our farmland, Sam Page disrespecting our seniors. We're under attack. It's time to fight. I'm David Gregory. I created a law that authorizes Missouri to detain illegal immigrants. I've never voted for China to buy Missouri farmland, and I sued Sam Page to give our seniors their tax freeze. I'm David Gregory. I'm already fighting for you as your next state senator.
Paid for by Gregory from Missouri. Joe Garavaglia, Treasurer.
The Democrat Party is going to have to go back toward the center.
News, analysis, and opinion.
I've never called a talk show before, but this just irked me.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
Now, if you feel that you can't go on.
Now we're talking.
Yes, we are talking. 5:51 in the morning. This is Chris Sarps sitting in for Mike Ferguson today. Every time I hear that song, Stella, it reminds me of the old 70s movie Cooley High. You ever seen that movie?
No.
The fantastic black cult music. It's you remember the show What's Happening?
Yes.
It used to be based that that television show was based off the movie Cooley High, except the TV show was in Los Angeles. Cooley High was in Chicago, and it was about some inner city kids and their exploits and everything that happened in the 60s. And they play a lot of this type of music, and this song is in Cooley High. It's a fantastic movie. It's kind of sad at the end. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs from Welcome Back, Kotter was in that movie. He
Okay.
played a character called Cochise, who was a basketball star and ended up tragically getting murdered. I guess I can tell the plot of a movie that's 50 years old, right? If you haven't seen it by now, yeah, it came out like 75, 76, something like
Well,
that.
speaking of 50 years ago, Vicky on, I think she's on, who's she's on? She's on Rumble, made a comment about back in 72 with the Vietnam protests and the MIA stuff that went on. And Kathy was heavily involved in the POW MIA, wearing the bracelet with the names of soldiers that had been captured in Vietnam. So that was a memory that also came back, and Vicky brought that up.
And that's something, too, that, I was a young kid, 6 or 7, but I never did remember the soldiers being spit on and called baby killers and the horrible treatment that they received until much later when movies like The Deer Hunter came out and people started talking about Vietnam. That's when I learned that these soldiers were treated terrible like that. Horrible thing. We talked about the terrorist attack in 1972 at Munich. Still another terrorist attack, of course, that haunts our nation still is 9/11. Last week, the government, I'm just going to put them all together. The government reached a plea deal with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and a couple of his accomplices to give them life sentences instead of the death penalty, which always seemed weird to me because, paradise for these people were to be martyred, and then you get your 72 virgins, right? So, United States government would like to help you along to your 72 virgins. But over the weekend, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, he overrode that decision. And now these people will face the death penalty. One, I always thought it was weird was why would they announce something like this during Kamala Harris's honeymoon when she's going to be tied to this, because everyone knows the administration made this decision. I never did understand that. And my conspiratorial nature asked me, Stell, are they doing this because it starts raising questions about what was Saudi Arabia's role in 9/11? A lot of people still have questions of that. And this plea deal somehow brings up those questions. And is that why this was quickly overturned a couple of days later? Your thoughts, Stell Ponticus?
I was a bit stunned, weren't you, that Lloyd Austin did that?
I was.
That came out of left field for me, and I was not expecting that at all. And
do you think it was the uproar? People just were incensed, and the families were probably
the families. The families. I can't imagine what the families felt like when they saw the original decision come down. I can't fathom how heartbroken they were. Oh, here we are again.
I mean, and just think about it. 25 years. 25 years these people have been waiting for justice, and then this plea deal comes out. I don't blame them for being incensed. So, good segment, good show. Stella or Gabe will be here at 6:05. We're going to speak with Senator Bill Eigel about the campaign. Listening to I was going to say Tim Jones and Chris Arp show. Mike Ferguson in the morning on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
The latest news.
Republicans are going to try to make the same case against her they were making against Biden.
Kamala Harris was the chief enabler for all of this.
At the end of the day, Republicans know who our candidate is, Donald Trump, who's not a puppet, and that's why he's going to win in November.
Our campaign and President Trump are prepared to defeat Kamala Harris.
We are the most unified party I think that's ever existed.
The party is now Trump's party.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
By now, you've heard Adam Schnelting's false attack ads. Don't buy his lies. Adam Schnelting says he opposes the transgender agenda, but he's trying to conceal the truth. Schnelting has received more than $71,000 from liberal trial lawyers. Those same trial lawyers supporting Schnelting also gave over $100,000 to a liberal group that supports men playing girls' sports, supports men using girls' bathrooms, and even supports gender mutilation surgeries for minors. To make matters worse, Adam Schnelting says he supports our gun rights, but he's received thousands from leading anti-gun lawyers that filed a massive lawsuit against gun makers and gun owners. But that's not all. These liberal lawyers don't just fund Adam Schnelting's campaign, their anti-gun lawsuits, or the transgender movement. They've also been leading funders of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and even the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. Adam Schnelting. With friends like that, conservatives just can't trust him. On August 6th, don't forget Adam Schnelting. He's loved by liberals, and he lies like one too.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. When accidents happen, trust Mobile Magic Auto Body to make things right. For 12 years, we've been treating every customer like family. Our highly trained technicians combine old school philosophy with modern expertise to deliver top quality work. From free estimates to the final polish, we're committed to making your experience positive and getting your vehicle back to you like new. 402 Church Street in O'Fallon. Call 636-385-6401 for your free estimate. Mobile Magic Auto Body. Let us work our magic on your vehicle.
Southern Armory, your hometown gun store. Come and be more than just a customer. Southern Armory, we carry the best guns, holsters, knives, magazines, ammunition, and even food storage. Special orders are welcome. Southern Armory, 1 mile east of 270 and 44, 9901 Watson Road, and southernarmory.com. That's southernarmory.com.
Whether you're purchasing your first firearm or adding to your collection at Southern Armory, you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. Follow Southern Armory on Facebook or at southernarmory.com.
For over 2 decades, Joe Brazel has served St. Charles County with passion and dedication. As your county councilman, Joe has championed smart growth with Proposition S, protected our veterans by stopping military funeral protests, stood against excessive high-density housing, and supported the 2030 Master Plan for controlled infrastructure. Joe Brazel, a true patriot working for you.
I'm Joe Brazel, running for St. Charles County Council, District 2, vote August 6th.
Paid for by Citizens for Joe Brazel, Mike Summers, Treasurer.
Hi, I'm Jen Wallner.
And I'm Rodney Wallner with the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Hey, Rodney, how do you sell your home for top dollar?
That's easy. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
What if I want a flexible commission rate?
Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
When's the best time to sell your home?
Right now. Call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
For all your real estate needs, call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD.
That's 314-810-SOLD.
Hey, it's Monday. That means great pizza at a great price. All 4 Steph's Pizza locations make Monday great again with a 16-inch large pizza for just the price of a small. You heard right. It's a classic large Steph's Pizza, however you would like it, for the price of a small. All 4 locations of Steph's Pizza are making Mondays great again. And hey, look, it just happens to be Monday. Check it out at stephspizza.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Potentially record-setting rainfall, devastating flooding, life-threatening storm surge, dangers posed by Hurricane Debbie, zeroing in on Florida's Big Bend coast. The National Hurricane Center's Michael Brennan says the storm's impact will be felt for much of the week and will not be limited to Florida.
We're expecting heavy rainfall resulting in considerable flooding impacts from the Florida Big Bend region through southeast Georgia and coastal plain of the Carolinas through Friday. And we could see potentially historic heavy rainfall amounts across southeast Georgia and South Carolina, resulting in possibly catastrophic flooding and significant river flooding through the week. There's the danger of life-threatening storm surge along the Florida Big Bend coast. We are expecting to see 6 to 10 feet of inundation.
The governors of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina declaring states of emergency. Global stock markets have plunged, and Wall Street racing for a sharply lower open this morning. U.S. recession fears and fears of a wider Mideast war are hammering financial markets worldwide. In Japan, the benchmark Nikkei suffering its biggest single-day loss since 1987. In the words of former President Trump, we got our people back, but Mr. Trump says most recent prisoners swap with Russia saw the Biden team arrange the release of, quote, some of the greatest killers anywhere in the world, some of the most evil killers.
I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made?
A deal that Mr. Trump insists did not and would not happen under his watch. During his time in the Oval Office, Mr. Trump says, we got 59 hostages. I never paid anything. An outspoken opponent of fracking in the past, Kamala Harris, has flip-flopped. Having to win battleground Pennsylvania, Harris now saying that she opposes a ban on fracking. Wall Street, Dow futures down 773. The NASDAQ futures off 832 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Anyone with everyday aches and pains, I've got a question. What are you missing out on? Probably a lot. So let me tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. It doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In about 3 weeks, you'll discover what it's like to feel better. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4RELIEF.
What does it take for organizations to triumph? It takes trust. But trust is getting harder and harder to gain, which is why over 2,700 organizations display the ECFA seal. The ECFA seal gives your organization the third-party credibility that people are literally looking for. And in turn, an estimated 14 million givers support ECFA-accredited organizations. Let us help you maintain a trusted reputation as you reach the world for Christ.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Missourians, our future is under attack. Tax Hike Mike is fixing to devour your hard-earned money with gas taxes galore and another sky-high fee on your next car purchase. Kehoe's policies will flat-out destroy your wallet. His big old bus is fueled by donations from Chinese communists and George Soros surrogates. But there's hope. Jay Ashcroft, the true leader who fights with integrity against the lies, higher taxes, and the Jefferson City swamp. Vote Jay Ashcroft for governor now.
Paid for by Friends of Jay Ashcroft PAC. Alexandra Lang, Treasurer.
What's the key to maximizing the value of your outdoor space? Satisfaction. And getting a fence or deck that exceeds expectations with the highest quality, American-made material. And working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. And adding safety and security for your family and pets to play, relax, and entertain. At STL Fenceworks, satisfaction is our core value. Doing it right the first time, standing above the competition. At STLFenceworks.com, your satisfaction is our passion.
News, analysis, opinion.
She continued to emphasize she's a DEI type of a director.
Members on both sides of the aisle called for her resignation.
101.9 and 94.1.
I'm glad she's no longer going to be the head of the Secret Service. I wish she had been fired.
News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
Gabe Pfeiffer.
There's something serious I have to tell you about the future.
Get up, St. Louis.
Will you guys knock it off?
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! This is your cousin God.
Good morning to the people of St. Louis.
And good morning, and welcome into the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show. Chris Arp sitting in today for Mike. He is out visiting his mom today, and but he will be back tomorrow. And joining us at 6 o'clock, 6:05, 45 seconds, Gabe Pfeiffer, the smartest man in talk radio.
Oh
Gabe, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
And,
quite the introduction.
and to prove that, he has his rocket, his NASA rocket fuel, because he is a rocket scientist, cup today. And Stel Pontique is on the wheels of steel. Stel, how are you?
Hey, doing great.
All
Good to see you,
right.
Chris.
Motown Monday today. We've got 1 down, 9 to go. So stay tuned for that. We are honored to have on the line State Senator Bill Eigel, who is running for the governorship, or for win the nomination to be the Republican nominee for governor of the state of Missouri. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, 6:06. You sound bright and chipper. You've got 1 day left until the campaign. What are the last-minute preparations you are doing to get yourself across the finish line with a victory?
Well, I tell you, we're going to be running around the state today. We've got 7 stops around the state of Missouri today. So we are about to leave for that. And so I'm very excited. I tell you what, all the polls are moving in the right direction. We're surging at just the right time. Right now, we according to our internal polls, it is a extremely tight race, exactly tied. We have it between myself and Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe. I feel fantastic about that matchup because, Mike Kehoe he's basically a Democrat running as a Republican. This is a guy that said that he doesn't want to deport the illegals. He's raising your taxes. So my message of being the guy that's out there that's going to deport every one of these illegals, that's going to get rid of personal property tax. I happen to think that's why Donald Trump endorsed me last weekend, and we're going to finish across the finish line strong about 24 hours from now.
Morning, Bill. Gabe here. So what are you telling the people who are still in the undecided columns and all of the polls that I've seen where that seemed almost the largest share? I'm not sure of the latest one, but they seem to be the largest share of the electorate right now. What are you telling them that differentiates you from the other candidates, why they should give them their vote?
Yeah, because I'm the anti-establishment candidate. I'm the one that's actually going to implement all these big red ideas that the others have only been talking about, and too much of Jefferson City has only been talking about for the past decade and a half down in Jefferson City. Just like Donald Trump is winning the country right now on disrupting the swamp in Washington, D.C., I'm going to do that. I'm going to confront the swamp for every single one of the 6 million Missourians in this state down in Jefferson City. Two big policy ideas that set me apart from the other candidates. One, I have made a commitment. We are going to detain and deport every single one of the more than 70,000 illegal immigrants that are in this state today, pushing back on the crimes that they're committing, alleviating the tax burden that they're placing on the people of this state, and more. And the second thing, my economic policy, I'm the only candidate that's saying this. We are going to get rid of personal property tax. You're going to own your car under an Eigel administration and not have to pay rent for it every December 1st. To the government for the crime of owning it. So if you want to get rid of personal property tax and you're tired of paying that tax on your vehicle, I am the only candidate with that as a major plank in my platform.
We are speaking with State Senator Bill Eigel, who, of course, is running for governor of the great state of Missouri. You can reach him at BillEigel.com. Bill, as you know, illegal immigration is a huge issue in our politics. It's even across the pond in Europe, we're seeing what happened regarding illegal immigrants and the mayhem and chaos that they are causing. Give us a little more detail on your plan to round up and deport every illegal alien in the state of Missouri. How exactly would that work?
Well, I think we need to understand that the biggest thing that we're lacking right now, the biggest thing that our law enforcement, that our highway patrol, even our National Guard are lacking right now to detain and deport these folks is the authority to act. They don't have authority to act because right now there's no state level crime. There's no state level law that says that illegals can't be here illegally. It's a federal issue, and the feds have continued to do nothing. Of course, Joe Biden has thrown open the border for the past 4 years. So it's just chaos that we're dipping into. So what I'm going to do that's going to set me apart is I'm going to give them that authority to detain and deport these illegals by declaring an invasion under Article 4 of the Missouri Constitution. This should have been done years ago by our current governor. But of course, Mike Parson and Mike Kehoe, they don't want to detain these illegals. They don't want to deport these illegals. Mike Kehoe called a plan to deport the illegals foolish. That's his word. He called it impractical. That's his word. He is embracing amnesty because he doesn't want to do anything about it. That's been the history and track record of Mike Kehoe. I'm going to go in there on my first day as governor. We're going to give our law enforcement the authority to act. We're going to empower them to start going after folks that are suspected of being here illegally, and we're going to remove them to the nearest port of entry so that they're no longer placing a burden on any one of our communities. In fact, the cost, just setting aside all the violent crimes that these people have been committing in our communities, the cost that they're placing on the tax burden or the taxpayer is estimated to be more than $2.5 billion. To put that in perspective, that's more than we pay in personal property tax in the first place. So if we'd have gotten rid of these illegals who are breaking our law, who are criminals in the first place, we would have actually had savings of more than what we pay in personal property tax. So I think my plan is one that fits together nicely. We just need somebody that has the spine to act and is not going to be worried about all the leftist liberal media calling them a racist every time they try to enforce the law.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's all right.
I was going to keep going.
I was hypnotized there, Senator. Question for you: Donald Trump has endorsed all three candidates for governor, both candidates for AG, and those are coveted endorsements, and they should be touted. Your thoughts on why President Trump endorsed all three of you?
Well, I tell you, I'm pretty much focusing on our own candidacy. I'm thrilled, and I think one of the reasons that Donald Trump is comfortable and is excited about my candidacy is my stance on deporting the illegals, is my stance on cutting the taxes. And I'll tell you what, regardless, there's nothing in the world that can change Mike Kehoe's record of being the guy that's been for higher taxes, that's been for bigger government. Nothing in the world can change Mike Kehoe's record of being the one that voted to allow 270,000 acres of our farmland to be sold to the Chinese and to other countries back in 2013. Nothing in the world can change Mike Kehoe's record of being the guy that's going out there and looking for new exceptions to bring abortion back to the state of Missouri, even though we passed a bill to get rid of it. Nothing in the world can change Jay Ashcroft's record of accepting millions of dollars of these Zuckerbucks that have gotten into our elections, making our elections far more vulnerable than they were before he came into office. So I'm excited that my record is going to be the one of the proven conservative. I am the proven conservative, not because I say so, but because my record has consistently been touted as the most conservative of any senator to serve in the Missouri Senate in modern history, with the exception of Eric Burleson, but that's a pretty high standard. That's a good standard. I recognize that. But I'm one of the most conservative guys, and if folks are looking for that proven conservative, then I think they're going to show up tomorrow and really shock the swamp that is desperately hoping that I don't win.
So we're speaking with State Senator Bill Eigel on his campaign for governor. Bill, you said that you have 7 stops today. Tomorrow is of course, Election Day. What are your plans for tomorrow, and where is the big watch party going to be held?
Well, I'm gonna vote tomorrow. that's tops of my list. We'll go out first thing in the morning and get that done. I suspect there's going to be some long lines at the polls tomorrow because there's a lot of folks that are looking forward to showing up and having their voice heard. I'll be out and about tomorrow, visiting some supporters at different precincts and polling locations in the St. Louis area, and then we're going to have a watch party at the Republican headquarters. We're going to have the watch party at the Old Hickory Golf Club tomorrow at 7 o'clock in St. Charles County. So very exciting. But before we can get to that, I got a lot of work to do this afternoon.
Excellent. Bill, give everyone the website and all the socials to get a hold of you and your campaigns. They need yard signs or anything in these closing hours.
You bet. BillEigel.com. I happen to think it might be the best website you ever visit. Your entire life, you may not be to a more fantastic website than BillEigel.com. It's got my plank of ideas on there. It's got a place where you can still sign up at the last second to get a yard sign or to volunteer to help with the campaign. BillEigel.com. Let's go, Missouri.
BillEigel.com. Bill, thank you for getting up early to get your message out. Best of luck to you today and tomorrow, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Bill Eigel, running for governor. Polls have showed, I think a Remington poll showed him closing in on the leaders, Jay Ashcroft and Kehoe. One more day left.
How important is momentum going into the day of?
Momentum is huge, and I also think in this race, name ID is huge as well. A lot of times in these close races like this, name ID could
carry the day, huh?
Could make the difference. Gabe, I know you're like me. You live in the 1st Congressional District. I know you will be happy to get to no longer receive Cori Bush and Wesley Bell mailers.
Yeah,
I mean, they are
nice
just
not to get those.
absolute overkill.
I could cover my house on them.
Exactly. When we come back, we will recap the big stories of the day with Gabe and Stell. You're listening to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show with Chris Harp sitting in on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL, 100% Soros free radio.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL.
You want to give me more information? You want to take the place of what I trust?
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Answers, the false impressions, well, baby, they will last forever. Stop right now! I have had enough of Stop my eyes to your indifference. Stop it right now. You're gonna blow us all away. Away. Get up. Can't you hear the alarm? Get up.
Hi, this is former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch. I am proud to endorse my friend Mark Harder for State Senate District 15. Other local leaders endorsing Mark include Chesterfield Mayor Bob Nation, Baldwin Mayor Tim Pogue, Eureka Mayor Sean Flower, and Ellisville Mayor Mike Romerman, among many others. They know what I know, that Mark is the type of conservative leader we need in Jefferson City. Mark Harder, the right choice for State Senate 15 and my choice. Vote smarter, vote harder in the August 6th primary.
Paid for by citizens to elect Mark Harder. Chuck McCluskey, Treasurer.
Jefferson County, the future is bright. Vote Leslie Cheek for County Council.
Hi, I'm Leslie Cheek. I am not a career politician. In fact, I'm not a politician at all. I've been a businesswoman in the area for over 30 years, and I see this as an opportunity to share expertise in land use and bring a common sense and responsible approach to the issues important to the citizens of Jefferson County.
Hi, my name's Alyssa. Vote Leslie Cheek, my grandma, for County Council on August 6th. Let's move Jefferson County forward.
Paid for by friends of Leslie Cheek. Diane Berberick, Treasurer.
Tim Jones here. I'm with Eric from Newsteaders, Newsteaders Fine Jewelers. Eric, Newsteaders has been around since 1961. Tell us the story.
Well, Richard started this 62 years ago, and we've stayed a local family-owned store since then. We've actually got 3 generations of Newsteaders working in the store. Richard, his wife, his daughter, and his granddaughter, and we all love what we do. We're kind of a St. Louis family tradition, and we do a lot of unique and one-of-a-kind custom pieces, as well as repairs. There's basically nothing that we can't do, and all of our work is done on site, so you can feel secure knowing that your jewelry never leaves, which is unusual now. And we can computer generate images of custom pieces if you want to go custom. We can take that old jewelry that you're not wearing, and we can turn that into something new that you absolutely love.
Newsteaders, a St. Louis jewelry tradition since 1961. Stop by and find out why. 2961 Daughtery Ferry Road, or on the internet, wowdiamonds.com for Newsteaders Fine Jewelers.
The wait is over. President Trump endorses Bill Eigel for governor. Bill Eigel, true America First conservative and the first to endorse President Trump. Bill Eigel is the only candidate who will take on the Jeff City swamp. Listen to Trump-endorsed conservative Bill Eigel.
We'll round up illegal immigrants and get rid of them, period. We'll ban Chinese ownership of our land and take back everything they stole. And we'll go by how God made us, not some stupid woke pronouns. They'll call us racist, sexist, God knows what else. And that's how we'll know we're winning.
Bold conservative Bill Eigel. Ban personal property taxes. Deport every single illegal immigrant in Missouri. Bill Eigel. Politicians hate him, special interests fear him, and Trump endorsed him. Vote Trump-endorsed Bill Eigel for governor. Believe in Life and Liberty PAC, paid for and is responsible for the content of this communication, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.billpac.com.
Tired of talk about election integrity? Shane Scholler takes action. As the chief election authority in one of Missouri's largest counties, Shane's proven plan stops non-citizens from voting and secures our elections. A lifelong conservative, Shane stands firm, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and ready to protect your vote on day one. Don't just talk about stopping fraud. Elect someone who's done it. Shane Scholler for Secretary of State. Learn more at shaneforsos.com.
Paid for by Scholler from Missouri, Justin Hill, Treasurer.
Hungry for the best steak you'll ever have? Head to the heart of Moscow Mills and discover Harry J's, a local landmark and family-owned steakhouse, serving up excellence since '98. From mouth-watering appetizers to decadent desserts, Harry J's has something for everyone. Enjoy our extensive bar selection while soaking in our friendly family atmosphere. Whether dine-in or carry-out, your meal is prepared to perfection. Make the drive to 300 Main Street and treat yourself to a taste of Moscow Mills' finest. Harry J's, more than a steakhouse. We're a tradition.
Re-elect State Representative Tony Lavasco. Tony Lavasco. Eliminated licenses for home-based businesses. Tony Lavasco. Rated 100% by the American Conservative Union. Tony Lavasco. The only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and by the NRA. Tony Lavasco. The only choice for small, limited government. On August 6th, vote Liberty. Vote Lavasco.
I'm Tony Lavasco, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Citizens for Lovasco. Dan Rakers, Treasurer.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
You know, every time I hear Bill O'Reilly's voice, I hear, I'll do it live! Do it live! I'm sorry, I just had to bring that in. 6:22 on August 5th. 2024. What has happened to the year? What has happened to the summer, Gabe?
It's gone. You blinked and you missed it.
It's going to be a huge heat index today. 104 degrees today. So, best place that you need to be today, Stell, is sitting in your cool house or riding in your cool air conditioning, listening to 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL today. Gabe, you had some interesting quote there from David Axelrod, supposedly the Barack Obama strategist genius on the, I remember Alan Greenspan had a term that he used and became famous. It was irrational exuberance. Remember that term when he's talking about the stock market? And there's some irrational exuberance regarding Kamala Harris. Gabe hit it.
Yeah, so this is out of the Hill. David Axelrod's commenting on the momentum that Harris seems to be enjoying after being crowned, we'll say, as the replacement for Joe Biden's candidacy. And quote, "Look, I mean, there's a lot of irrational exuberance."
That's Greenspan's term there.
On the Democratic side of the aisle right now, because there was despair for some period of time about what November was going to look like. So this was a absolute acknowledgement of the craziness that was going on in the Biden campaign and how it was being viewed by the major people. He was among the many who were calling for Biden to step down, but he's not overly optimistic about Harris's possibilities right now either. He says it's absolutely Trump's race to lose right now. He is ahead, and he is ahead in most of the battleground states. They're close. They can be won, but by either candidate, though.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I think the only real excitement for Kamala Harris lies with the AKAs, the Deltas, and the Thetas. Those are the Greek sorority, Black Greek sororities. I think that is the real
excitement
for Kamala Harris. The other folks, I don't think are as excited. CBS put out a poll yesterday, guys, that showed that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are in a dead heat. Kamala Harris is at 50%, which is impressive, and Trump is at 49%, always to get to 50%. With third candidates included, Harris sits at 49, Trump 47, Robert F. Kennedy at 2%. Boy, he has dropped dramatically. All of this, of course, is in the margin of error. They break it down among the battleground states. In Arizona, Harris is up 49, Trump, or it's tied 49-49. Georgia, Harris 47, Trump 50. Michigan, Harris 48, Trump 48. Nevada, Harris 50, Trump 48. What do you guys say, Nevada or Nevada? Nevada 50, Trump 48. North Carolina, Harris 47, Trump 50. Pennsylvania, Harris 50, Trump 50. Wisconsin, Harris 49, Trump 50. Now, here is the thing. All those numbers sound great for Kamala Harris and irrational exuberance. Here's the number that they're bearing, in which some of the Democrats who are being honest tout this number. Trump still leads on economic issues. 45% said they'll be financially better off if he wins. 25% say that for Harris. And guys, we're old enough to remember the 1992 election. And what was Carville's famous saying?
It's the economy, stupid.
Exactly. And Trump is beating her almost 2-1 on the economy. So I think that what it's really going to come down. One of the things that conservatives have been angry about is she's really taking no questions. It's been an absolute honeymoon. She's completely on the trans thing that you read.
Script?
No, the thing with the words come down.
Teleprompter.
Teleprompter. Yeah. It's like, Chris, you're not even. You know, if you like are close to the word, we can get it.
It starts with a T.
It starts with a T.
I mean, that's
what she's saying that she has a teleprompter.
Hey, it's Monday morning.
Yeah.
Exactly. That she has been doing the teleprompter conference. And you know what? This is the one big thing. And I think this is going, I'm giving a preview of Chris's Corner.
All right.
For this Friday. It just came to me. Look, we all know that the media was responsible for Joe Biden becoming president. They hid that he was having deficiencies. They let him run a basing campaign.
Yep.
We had to see what we had to deal with at the end here. A man who's clearly not able to be president. You're kind of wondering, is the media going to do the exact same thing and cover for Kamala Harris and put someone into the White House who is totally unqualified to be president? They came to their moral senses at the end when they started trying to take him down, basically because it was hurting the Democrats. They didn't care about the country. But I mean, do they have any conscience? It's like, we put a man in the White House with the nuclear football who has Alzheimer's. We have some type of responsibility here to question Kamala Harris, vet her some, 90 days before the election, because we don't want to put her in office and like, oh my God, she's cackling her way while Vladimir Putin's taking over Europe, and they're going to be held responsible. I think they should. It's like, you guys didn't vet this person. You didn't vet this person. This is the blood. And I'm saying that euphemistically is on your hands. Guys, your thoughts.
Well, let me toss something else into the mix here. The futures this morning are down over 800 points.
Well, I don't want to hear that. I haven't had breakfast yet.
How much is the economy now going to affect everything that's going on? Because we go back to Carville's comment, it's the economy, stupid. Now we've had 2 days, Thursday and Friday, of tumultuous drops in the Dow. And, folks are looking at their financial situation and wondering, all right, what's going on here? And now we've got, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, that the Japanese markets are way
plunged
down
12%.
And so all of this coalescing at the same time, hey, is this what Bidenomics has turned out to be? And we've got the R word now showing up over the weekend. People are saying, hey, is a recession on the horizon?
This will be a Trump economy again, I predict. That's what they'll say. This is Trump's economy. That's this is why it's so bad. This is Trump's economy.
Yeah. Well, here's one of the problems with the trying to hold the media accountable is that there isn't anybody who does it. You know what I mean? There's nobody who's just technically it's the people. We're supposed to be the check on the government while the media, while the media is looking into the government and trying to keep us informed. But the thing is, if it bleeds, it leads is still kind of the gospel. We've got them controlling media through various means, nefarious and otherwise. And hey, they got away with installing Biden, right? They covered up major stories that would have impacted the campaign, particularly the Hunter Biden one, and nobody said boo about it.
And shut down opposition.
They shut down opposition. They were, I think, at the forefront of a lot of that whole this is misinformation campaign, and basically spreading misinformation as though they're trying to combat misinformation.
The speculation is they're going to give her an interview with Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes, some softball. And then that's going to be their thing that, yes, she did a hard hitting interview with 60 Minutes for an hour. Here it is. She's been vetted. Cut us some slack. What your thoughts on that prediction? Leslie Stahl?
I think that's right. Somebody's going to be there to try and give her a bigger veneer of legitimacy. Not the View.
Should do a hard hitting interview on the View or something. It's like, she's been vetted. Look, 4 journalists, quote unquote, interview her at the same time. She took a grilling.
Now, I will bet that somebody's going to ask her what has enchanted her about the vice presidency.
Oh my God!
Remember those kind of softball questions for the Obama years?
Can you imagine her answering a question like that with a word salad, talking about what enchanted you? It would probably just be,
well, the significance of the passage of time. There's much significance.
Kamala Harris, possible president of the United States. We shall see. When we come back, guys, I want to talk about her potential vice presidential nominees that she has been vetting. The rumor is that she could make a pick today or tomorrow. we'll talk about some of the candidates, the dark horses, no pun intended, when we come back on Mike Ferguson in the Morning with Gabe and Stell on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the Morning. Tuesday, all the results and reactions from the Missouri State Primary, from the voices you know and trust in St. Louis for election night coverage, beginning Tuesday night at 7. Brought to you by Great Harvest Bread Company in Maplewood, your neighborhood bakery. Visit them at greatharvestmaplewood.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt By Chambers. now, you've heard Adam Schnelting's false attack ads. Don't buy his lies. Adam Schnelting says he opposes the transgender agenda, but he's trying to conceal the truth. Schnelting has received more than $71,000 from liberal trial lawyers. Those same trial lawyers supporting Schnelting also gave over $100,000 to a liberal group that supports men playing girls' sports, supports men using girls' bathrooms, and even supports gender mutilation surgeries for minors. To make matters worse, Adam Schnelting says he supports our gun rights, but he's received thousands from leading anti-gun lawyers that filed a massive lawsuit against gun makers and gun owners. But that's not all. These liberal lawyers don't just fund Adam Schnelting's campaign, their anti-gun lawsuits, or the transgender movement. They've also been leading funders of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and even the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. Adam Schnelting. With friends like that, conservatives just can't trust him. On August 6th, don't forget Adam Schnelting. He's loved by liberals, and he lies like one too.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
Are you tired of hard chlorinated water drying your skin out, tasting bad, and ruining your fixtures? Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to this pollution. Our Hydratech H2O leaves you with great tasting, soft water at all fixtures in your home with one unit. Call Jones Air and Water at 636-899-1040 or visit us on the web at joneswater.com. You can be a filter or buy a filter. Jones Air and Water, 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
During the COVID years, I was very disappointed by weak leadership dictating COVID tyranny and ridiculous, nonsensical rules. We had lost over 300,000 school days in St. Charles County that the children will never get back. The closing of businesses and mandates were unconstitutional and complete government overreach. I will always fight for your constitutional rights and your God-given freedoms and liberty. I'm Joe Brazel, and I'm running for St. Charles County Council District 2. Vote August 6th. Thank you, and I approve this message.
Paid for by citizens for Joe Brazel, Mike Summers, Treasurer. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Monday morning at 10:05, we'll talk to Dr. Bonner Cohen from CFAC to talk about all the grim predictions of climate change and how they actually haven't happened. And of course, it's Election Day Eve.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Dan Bongino here, and I'm proud to be on News Talk STL every weekday from 11 to 2. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Yes, you are listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning, but Chris Arps is filling in for Mike today. He will be back tomorrow. This song here will forever cement in my mind just how multi-talented my co-host Gabe Pfeiffer. And Gabe knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I remember.
At our second anniversary shindig, Gabe took the stage and played drums, played the drums on this song. So I'm like, he's a genius. He's a talk show host. He's a philosopher. And oh my God, he's a drummer too. So I was like, multi-talented Gabe Pfeiffer there. You knew where I was going with that, didn't you?
I kind of did. Once you mentioned it. Like,
I knew there was some reason I liked it.
Yeah. It's a good thing I didn't sing on this song too. You lose your mind.
I would have. 6:36 in the morning. And, guys, we're laughing to keep from crying
Yes.
because Stell mentioned it before we went to break that the Japanese stock market dropped dramatically. Our stock market has dropped the last couple of days, and we're
about 1,000 points.
About 1,000 points, and we're kind of anxiously waiting. What will it be tomorrow? And people are fearful of a recession. And the Fed has signaled that they could possibly cut rates next month. So we've got wars in the Middle East. We've got a president that has dementia. We have a presidential campaign in flux, and stock market's dropping. Boy, this is troubled times, but all three of us in this room are men of faith, and we know who is ultimately in control, right there, Stell?
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know what my destiny is. I don't know what the rest of y'all.
Exactly.
We're just visiting this planet.
We're just visiting.
I love that old saying. It says that you don't see a U-Haul in the back of a hearse.
You can't take it with you.
You can't take it. You can't take it with you. Speaking of today, we've been speculating that Kamala Harris could make her VP choice today. Looks like, guys, it's down to between Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, who's an astronaut. His wife, I can't ever remember her name for some reason. His wife was shot at a campaign rally. She was a congresswoman. She's a pro anti-gun person.
Gifford?
Kathy Gifford.
No, not Kathy Gifford.
Yeah, that's the
that was her last name, I believe. Gifford.
Yeah, Kathy Gifford. She did this so with Regis. Didn't she?
That's Gabby. It's Gabby.
Gabby Gifford, not Kathy Gifford.
Yeah.
So speculation is between Josh Shapiro, I guess you don't say freshman, but first term governor of Pennsylvania, state that Democrats desperately need to get to 270 electoral votes.
Let me ask you a quick question here
for it.
regarding this whole situation.
Yes,
over the weekend, I'm hearing stories about, well, she's going to be vetting another 6 candidates. Meanwhile, we had the announcement on Friday or Saturday that, was it the mayor's office in Philly or Pittsburgh, put a video out that was supposed to come out on Wednesday or Thursday of this week, showing that Shapiro was already chosen and congratulating him on being the VP candidate. Okay, so who's telling the truth here?
I think they're doing a fantastic job of being cryptic and having people guessing because Mark Kelly, he met with Vice President yesterday at the Naval Observatory, was the official residence of the Vice Presidency. He put out a tweet, and people are saying that it was all cryptic, and was he saying that he was the nominee? So who knows? People are saying that Pete Buttigieg is still in there. Your mayor there,
you think Pritzker
of the Hyatt,
governor of Illinois,
the Hyatt hotel fortune.
Yeah,
he has been making a pitch for it. Look, if as modern as radical as she is, and we'll talk about this during the show, how she is flip-flopped on so many issues now, and the press is not covering her at all. But her past is so left-leaning, and they've labeled her a San Francisco liberal. That's the term they're using. She is so to the left that I just can't see her choosing a left-leaning vice presidential candidate. It has to be somebody to balance her out.
Right.
The two people that balance her out are supposedly Mark Kelly and Shapiro. They are moderates,
quote unquote.
Your thoughts? I mean, I know you're not a Democrat, Gabe, but I mean, who do you think that she should pick?
I think the whole discussion, the public discussion that's been going on among Democrats about the possible Shapiro pick is the most interesting, because they have openly said, well, will Shapiro be a good pick given the tensions with Israel?
Yeah,
and it's like, wait, hold on, are you literally saying out loud that, well, I'm not sure I want to pick the Jew? I mean, that's basically what the Democrats have been saying pretty openly, and having this discussion in public, and it just kind of boggles the mind. But it would make sense as a tactic to ensure the Jewish Democratic vote, because they've been a very staunch voting bloc for the Democrats, as well as a means of finance.
But you lose
by
the
the way.
left, but you lose the college.
But use the far
young
left.
lefties.
Yeah,
so-
I mean, all those college students who were, conceivably potential foot soldiers on the ground game, as well as a voting bloc, a newly tapped resource of voting bloc. All those college students who were out protesting against Israel would say, I'm not sure about that. They just scrubbed from his Wikipedia that
Right.
he volunteered for the IDF, right? Because you don't want one of those Israeli warmongering genocidal maniacs up there in the vice presidential nomination for the Democratic Party. So that's from their perspective.
And how will it
obviously.
affect voters in Michigan and Minnesota?
Oh,
where there
yeah.
are blocks
the Islamic
of Muslim
blocks,
voters.
Yep.
Stell, you are our guy that I like to delve into. I don't want to say conspiratorial things, but I like to delve in this stuff because sometimes you can like put the dots together and it works.
You can connect a few dots.
What's your thoughts on the person that is helping to vet Kamala's VP picks? Are former Attorney General Eric Holder, who is a partner with the firm Covington and Burling. There's another Obama sticky influence in there. Plus, last week also, David Plouffe, who was supposed to be the campaign genius behind Barack Obama's 2 victories in 2008 and 2012, he has been named a senior advisor by Kamala Harris. So those are 2 Obama confidants, close people in his administration, still connected in with Kamala.
I bet
Barack
you could
Obama the Wizard of Oz, and
you could toss in Valerie Jarrett, I bet, and a few others. And so I'm going to go back to this, and people are. I know people are tired of hearing me say this.
Go it for it, Stell.
But the Chicago connection, the Democratic machine, has gotten its tentacles into every single area of the Democratic Party nationwide. You've got it going into Atlanta, New York, Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, LA, San Francisco, Seattle.
Those are mafia cities too. You just named the mafia. You just named the cities where the 5 families are.
Al Capone's going, yes,
yes,
that's awesome. And it hurts me to say that, but unfortunately, the tentacles have gone into all of these different cities. And like you said, Eric Holder. Eric comes out of Chicago.
I was going to ask you, was Eric Holder from Chicago?
I believe so. Along with the Department of Education guy.
He was ran the Chicago schools.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Plus, you had Valerie Jarrett and others coming from Chicago, along with Obama, who suspiciously never shows up back in Chicago. I find that very odd, but that's
he's got the
story
museum coming up, though.
I'm sorry.
He's got the museum that's opening up next year.
Yeah. But I find that somewhat odd.
Well, he doesn't need to show up in Chicago. He's got his consiglieres running out there.
You're right.
He's got the beautiful home in Martha's Vineyard. He has a beautiful
seaside home.
The seaside home,
where climate change is going to wipe it out completely because of rising sea levels.
Where there are no views of windmills anywhere.
Oh yeah, you can't have those to block your view.
He's got the
nice pad in DC.
The town home in Georgetown. You got to be more specific. It's in Georgetown,
You're right,
which is a very Tony area of Washington D.C. Which coincidentally our former Senator Claire McCaskill has a home.
Oh, does she?
In Georgetown, as well.
But you're right about Eric Holder. These folks being involved, the fingerprints of Obama are everywhere.
Are all over it. Speaking of Josh Shapiro, as I said, they've opened up the Oppo research book on him, and they are really devolving showing some stuff. Excuse me. One person that is been backbiting Josh Shapiro is Senator Fetterman. Apparently, they were rivals in Pennsylvania politics. He said that Shapiro is, quote, excessively focused on his own personal ambitions. So the long knives are out.
Wow.
One of the things they've gone and dug up a article that he wrote in his college newspaper in 1993 when he was 20 years old. He said that peace will never come to the Middle East, and he expressed skepticism about the viability of his 2-state solution. He said Palestinians are, quote, too battle-minded to exist with Israel. Now, of course, you know,
He's
you
not
don't have
wrong,
to. You don't
by
have
the
to.
way.
He's not wrong, but of course, you don't need a political operative to figure this out. What is his response nowadays, Gabe? Do you think to that?
Of Shapiro, or
He said, "I've evolved." Those are my views. Those are my
he
views.
is
20 years.
evolved.
My views have evolved. Those are no longer my views. I was 20 years old.
I was just a young man, young and naive man of the world. Yeah, of course. In the same way that Kamala Harris is going to continue to tout her evolution towards the middle as we get closer to the general election as well. So everybody's running away from their leftist record, even though their leftist record is pretty much their entire lives. And they're never going to provide a satisfying explanation of what turned them around. They're just going to say, well, and it's the same thing.
Yep.
Every time a Democrat changes their mind, they evolved. Every time a Republican changes their mind and actually has an explanation for it, well, they're a flip-flopper.
And the two front runners also, Josh Shapiro and Mark Kelly, they both have problems with unions. Teachers unions have raised concerns about Josh Shapiro because he's for school choice. And with Mark Kelly, some of the auto unions have problems with him. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
We can all get our popcorn out and enjoy it.
Let me correct myself, by
Yes,
the
sir.
way. Eric Holder's from New York City.
Oh, okay. That's
But he was in the Obama administration for a few years as Attorney General.
And I
so.
bet he worked in Chicago at one time. So
Oh,
we
I
got to
wouldn't-
put him in there
Okay.
as well. 6:47 Monday morning, August 5th. You're listening to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show with Gabe and Stell on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL.
When you believe in things that you don't understand and you suffer.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Watch your face and hands.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
I'm Jim Bolin, running to represent West St. Louis County in the Missouri Senate. Growing up in Texas County, my dad always said, all hat and no cattle, about those who talk big but do little. I built a successful business, cleaned up City Hall as mayor, and now I'm ready to clean up Jefferson City. We need to jail repeat offenders, stop taxpayer funding for illegals, cut taxes, protect our children, and defend our liberties from the radical left. I'm Jim Bolin, and I would appreciate your vote on August the 6th. Let's get it done.
Paid for by Bolin from Missouri. Cindy Samagi, treasurer.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Craving the best burger in St. Louis? Head to Jack Nolan's. This veteran-owned local gem is serving up mouth-watering burgers that'll make your taste buds dance. But that's not all. We've got something for everyone, from delicious sides to the coldest beer in town. Enjoy our fully stocked bar and comfortable neighborhood vibe, whether you're relaxing indoors or soaking up the sun on our patio. Jack Nolan's, 2501 South 9th Street. Come on down to Jack Nolan's. You'll be glad you did.
Attention voters. The truth about Phil Cristofanelli may surprise you.
As state representative, Phil was endorsed by Promo, a Democrat-led LGBTQIA+ organization with extreme views.
Promo pushes for sex changes for kids, males and girls sports and bathrooms, and teaching gender confusion in schools.
Phil's record speaks for itself.
He voted to allow boys and girls sports.
And pushed to teach sexual orientation and gender identity in public schools.
Is this the leadership we want? Think carefully when you vote.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John Royal, Treasurer.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hi, this is Kira Davis, and you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Hey, it's a Motown Monday.
Yes, it is. Diana Ross and the Supremes. I think this song was in the movie Cooley High as well. Gabe, you remember the movie Cooley High, don't you?
I saw it on TV.
Okay, I was around when it was in the theaters, but I eventually saw it on TV.
I was born in '77, man.
Oh, okay. You were 2 years old. Gabe, look, you were born in '77.
Yeah.
As smart as you were probably talking at like 6 months. So I could see you like watching movies and understand.
Don't exaggerate.
Stuff.
It was 8 months.
8 months. All right.
But seriously, I mean, I do remember seeing on a very small. I think it had to be like a 13-inch black and white TV with rabbit ears and
classic
and the wood panels
Yes.
over top
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that because that was the extra TV. We actually had we had 2 TVs.
Oh,
that was amazing. Now
that
one
was
of them
a big deal.
One of them was a gift, but that's a whole other story.
And I remember back in the 70s too. And I wonder did white folks have these too. You had the big giant furniture thing that was like the
console.
TV and
that's all they sold for a while, man.
but
TV record player.
I always saw that in black homes. I never saw that in white homes. I was like, do white folks have these things too?
Yeah, we didn't have one, but Kathy's family had one.
My dad had one too, and I got it when I turned like 14. My dad had bought like a new stereo and stuff, so it became mine. So it was in my room, the big giant stereo.
Well, see, by the time you were being invited over to those homes, the technology had changed. So yes, they got the CRTs. So it still weighed 150 pounds, but it actually sat on furniture rather than was furniture.
And then back in this is a little before your time, Gabe. Stell may remember this, but the big TV would go out, and so you'd call a TV repairman. He'd come and fix it, and you loved when it was like, oh, you got the thing out in the truck, you can fix it, cool. But you hated when they had to take your TV.
Oh,
remember
that
when they take it in and stuff?
Because if they didn't bring the tubes in to the house,
but when they get fixed, it right there, you're like, oh, great. What a God! I just brought back like nostalgic memories of just your TV breaking down and you calling the TV repairman to come fix it.
Well, you know what happens now because TVs are not regulated by the government. Your TV decides to go on the fritz. Or actually, your TV doesn't decide to go on the fritz. It's still good.
Exactly.
You just want a bigger one.
Yeah.
So you go to Walmart, you pick one up for a couple $100. You got 50-something inches now that you can hang on your wall like a picture. And your other one, you're like, sell it on eBay. So that's what it's like now. And because the government wasn't involved in the development and the proliferation of TVs. So things got better. They got cheaper. Yeah. Everybody has them. And now everybody has a home theater now. And because of that, nobody's hurting for entertainment anymore.
I was thinking about TV repairmen and everything. And you were a Twilight fan. Were you watch Twilight Zone?
Oh, Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Not Twilight. That's
Twilight Zone.
That's sparkly vampires. That's sparkly vampires.
I don't mess with all that.
Yeah.
You remember the Twilight Zone episode?
Absolutely.
Of the guy that was the TV repairman?
I don't
remember. And he came
that one.
in there and he fixed the set that the guy could see like the future. And he ended up showed the future. He was going to murder his wife.
Oh man.
And it was If the guy that played the TV repairman was a guy that had, I forgot his name. He had a very famous voice. He was Winnie the Pooh's voice, but he also was an actor too. I don't know why I went down there, but
random.
Random. Hey, when we come back at 7:05, what is a black job? Gabe and I think, are qualified to talk about that on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
News, analysis, opinion.
I will never forget where I came from. Ladies and gentlemen, I came from Middletown, Ohio.
We are the most unified party.
Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He's feeling much better. And
she is unfit and unqualified to be our president and commander-in-chief.
We've got to, again, change the culture of that organization to make sure that all of our protectees are actually, get this, protected.
101.9 and 94.1.
St. Louis is number one
for conservative talk. News Talk STL and newstalkstl.com.
The wait is over. President Trump endorses Bill Eigel for governor. Bill Eigel, true America First conservative and the first to endorse President Trump. Bill Eigel is the only candidate who will take on the Jeff City swamp. Listen to Trump-endorsed conservative Bill Eigel.
We'll round up illegal immigrants and get rid of them, period. We'll ban Chinese ownership of our land and take back everything they stole. And we'll go by how God made us, not some stupid woke pronouns. They'll call us racist, sexist, God knows what else. And that's how we'll know we're winning.
Bold conservative Bill Eigel. Ban personal property taxes. Deport every single illegal immigrant in Missouri. Bill Eigel. Politicians hate him, special interests fear him, and Trump endorsed him. Vote Trump endorsed Bill Eigel for governor. Believe in Life and Liberty PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this communication, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.billpac.com.
Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
Hi, I'm Judge Dennis Chasnall, and I'm running for Circuit Judge in St. Charles County. I have 29 years of legal experience and started my career as a prosecutor in St. Charles County, and I've also served over 20 years as a municipal judge in our county. I'm a member of the Assumption Parish and the O'Fallon Knights of Columbus Council, as well as the NRA. The most important thing to me is integrity, experience, and faith for St. Charles County. Please vote for Dennis Chasnall for Circuit Judge.
Endorsed by Steve Ellman, paid for by Dennis Chasnall for Judge Matthew Renaud Treasurer.
Tired of talk about election integrity? Shane Scholler takes action. As the chief election authority in one of Missouri's largest counties, Shane's proven plan stops non-citizens from voting and secures our elections. A lifelong conservative, Shane stands firm, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and ready to protect your vote on day one. Don't just talk about stopping fraud. Elect someone who's done it. Shane Scholler for Secretary of State. Learn more at shaneforsos.com.
Paid for by Scholler from Missouri, Justin Hill, Treasurer.
KLDY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The Florida Gulf Coast feeling the fury of Hurricane Debbie, which made landfall this morning near Steinhatchee in Florida's Big Bend region. The National Hurricane Center's John Cangelosi warning of life-threatening storm surge, catastrophic flooding, and record-shattering rainfall.
After it passes Florida, the emphasis really shifts from the wind and specifically storm surge to rainfall. It's going to move very slowly across portions of northern Florida and southeastern Georgia, and then basically meander near South Carolina.
Governor Ron DeSantis says the feds are promising help for Florida.
We have requested a federal disaster declaration, and that has been approved. Our pre-landfall declaration by the federal government, of course, it's mostly a monetary thing, helps unlock some additional funds for certain things that we want to do.
In California, it's not flood, but fire that's the life-threatening problem. An army of firefighters battling the massive park fire in Northern California.
There's some areas that are kind of hard to get to. So we've got firefighters on the ground, and there's also air attack with like helicopters that are assisting in areas that are hard to reach. Right now, there's 6,528 total personnel for the whole fire.
Spokesman Jim Evans says the blaze has burned more than 400,000 acres with 640 structures damaged or destroyed. Wall Street bracing for another brutal day in the wake of Friday's dismal July jobs report that aggravated inflation fears. Global financial markets, including Wall Street, have been spiraling downward. There are also fears of a wider war breaking out in the volatile Mideast. And on Wall Street, the futures are deep in the red. Dow futures down 854 points. NASDAQ futures 871 points lower for a loss of close to 5%. More on these stories at townhall.com.
See, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. And maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true people are way more satisfied after making the switch too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. See what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Biden's border crisis, China buying our farmland, Sam Page disrespecting our seniors. We're under attack. It's time to fight. I'm David Gregory. I created a law that authorizes Missouri to detain illegal immigrants. I've never voted for China to buy Missouri farmland, and I sued Sam Page to give our seniors their tax freeze. I'm David Gregory. I'm already fighting for you as your next state senator.
Paid for by Gregory from Missouri. Joe Garavaglia, treasurer.
Hey, Colombo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Mike Ferguson.
You play ball like a girl.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
Triple song stereo.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! Get up! This is your cousin.
7:05 in the morning. Welcome to this bright and sunny Monday morning, start of a brand new week. It's going to be a hot one today. 104-degree heat index is expected in St. Louis, but
today and tomorrow.
It's St. August in St. Louis.
That's
Summer
right.
St. Louis, right? So
this is typical August weather, but it's looking better for Wednesday through Sunday.
Yeah, they said
so
it's going to cool off considerably, but I'm not complaining because you all know I'm very cold-natured. So in a couple of months, I'm going to be whining like a little girl when it's 49 degrees outside. But Hey, on the line is our next guest. He's Carl Zabel. He is the Vice President and General Counsel for NetChoice. We'll be talking to Carl about the Kids Online Safety Act. Carl, welcome to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And for everyone who's outside, get indoors.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be a hot one today. Before we start, tell us a little bit about NetChoice.
Yeah, we're about 25 years young, and we fight for free expression and free enterprise on the internet. It's a pretty simple business model. We think that, look, you should be allowed to say what you want to say, read what you want to read, and build what you want to build without government censoring or controlling what you do or what you say.
Good morning, Carl. Gabe here. So we've had a lot of consternation about, that exact thing that you were describing, the ability to say what you want or discuss what you want online. We've had any number of investigations into the interference, by the government into social media posts and banning accounts and all kinds of things, especially during the COVID era. And now there's a focus on kids' use of these online spaces, and it's kind of culminated in this Kids Online Safety Act. Now, help us understand, first of all, what this act is trying to do and what your organization has found it may actually do.
Yeah, and we completely agree with those concerns. In fact, my company has several active lawsuits against states across the country that would prevent your ability to say what you want to say or read what you want to see. And so with respect to the Kids Online Safety Act, it is kind of like the Inflation Reduction Act. The name sounds good, but you need to actually look at what it does do, not what politicians says it does. And at the end of the day, I'm a parent. Many of us out there are parents, and being a parent in the 21st century with tech, with social media, is a new challenge. But what the Kids Online Safety Act says is that the government, the federal government, will come in. They will create this Kids Advisory Council, and they will decide who gets to sit on it. And that council will ultimately decide what content my kids get to see, what content politicians in DC, the think tank people, and Silicon Valley decide is appropriate for my kids, not what I think is appropriate for my kids. So that's ultimately what the Kids Online Safety Act does for our children. And then for every single adult out there, the way that this works in reality is it will ask simple questions. Are you over or under 16? And it's not like one of those boxes that you see on a website and you say, I was born in 1927. Let me see the trailer for Wolverine. No, instead, it is perfect identification that you are who you say you are and you are the age you say you are. Think of it like when you go and buy alcohol at the liquor store. You can't just walk in and say, I'm over 18 or I'm over 21. You have to prove it. The same thing's true here. So we're talking about essentially ID for the internet. So it's bureaucrats deciding what our kids get to see and ID for the internet. Really dangerous for free speech, free expression, anonymity, and families.
Speaking with Carl Zabel, he is the Vice President and General Counsel for NetChoice. Carl, I'm going to play devil's advocate. What if folks say, hey, you need a driver's license to buy alcohol, you need a driver's license to get on a plane, you need a driver's license to do a lot of functions in everyday life. Why shouldn't you have to use a driver's license to prove you're not a minor looking at pornography?
Yeah, so let's set pornography to the side, because there are a lot of laws out there, Texas, Louisiana, Montana, that essentially require websites that are pornographic websites to verify you are over 18 before you can see content. So we're going to set that to the side, because that's something very different. What we're talking about here is, let's presume you are interested in better understanding your Second Amendment rights, or let's presume you are more interested in better understanding LGBTQ plus issues. Let's presume you are more interested in discovering the ability to raise your kids at home through homeschooling, or whether charter schools are better for you. Now, essentially, this law is creating a dossier of every one of those searches, every single one of those websites. And that's terrifying for the rights of free speech. When it comes to, you need a driver's license to drive. Yeah, that makes sense. But you don't need a license to speak. And that's essentially what the First Amendment is all about. If we had to go out and get government permission to speak or read, then essentially we're doing something that authoritarian regimes do, not what the United States of America is built to do. And if the government gets to decide who gets to speak and who gets to read, that's a terrifying Orwellian future that we should all fight back against.
Good morning, Carl. Stal Ponticus here. Since you're touching on the issue of free speech, and the First Amendment comes into the discussion, and already there are 3 federal judges in Arkansas, California, and Ohio that have ruled regarding the internet and the unconstitutionality of this issue. Could you kind of tie that together and give us a perspective as to how you see that progressing in the near future?
Yeah, and thanks for the setup there, because those are all my cases, the cases that NetChoice has brought. And look, at the end of the day, they are basically the same thing we're seeing at the federal level, the Kids Online Safety Act. So essentially, the idea is parents are struggling. We have to do something. And as Ronald Reagan famously said, the 9 scariest words are, "I'm from the government, I'm here to help." And that's essentially what we're seeing. So in an effort to, quote, protect kids, California, Arkansas, Ohio, many states have tried this approach, where essentially they will ban access to the internet unless you prove you're over a certain age. And we've had federal judges consistently shoot that down on First Amendment grounds. And the thing is, this isn't tech versus parents. In fact, in California, which is one of the lawsuits that NetChoice is leading, we actually were joined by almost every single newspaper in opposing the state of California's age verification for access to information. And ultimately because it's the First Amendment. You break that down to what's going on with the Kids Online Safety Act, it's the same law. And at some point I would wish lawmakers take a breath and look at what has been tried and failed and try something different. And that's really what we need to start doing. In Virginia, for example, for the past year, that state has required digital education as part of the school course curriculum. So those students are being taught how to be better digital citizens, how to think before they post, data security, data privacy as part of the school course curriculum. Similarly, back in the 80s, we used to have those ad campaigns, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kid is? Mm-hmm. Well, the government can come in and say, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kid's phone is? And rather than telling parents, you can't do it, you're too weak, government will save you, start doing the opposite. Tell parents they are strong enough. They can say, hey, I did allow you on that device, or I did allow you to download that app. I was wrong. I don't think we're ready for it. We're not going to use that anymore. And just tell parents it's okay to be a parent. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to set rules and restrictions. That's the answer, not government.
So I actually, that's kind of speaks to the question I had. Is there any role that makes sense for the government to intervene here, considering that studies have shown that social media has the same effect on children's brains, essentially as drugs, the same dopamine response? Is there a role for government, or is like you suggested that it's simply just a matter of parenting?
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, if I just left my kid home alone with a Costco-sized bag of Oreos to eat, you'd probably say I was a bad parent, right? But we're not going to go and blame Nabisco because their Oreos are really tasty. No, we would say, hey, Carl, go be a parent. Take away the bag of Oreos and give your kid a carrot. So the same thing's true with cell phones. Same thing's true with social media. Is parents need to be responsible. These are not babysitting devices. It's tough being a parent, and when your kid's crying, yeah, darn right, I want to throw them an iPad, but you reap what you sow. Is there a role for the government? Absolutely. So let me give you a terrifying statistic that I've unfortunately had the experience to discover. The role of government is to protect kids from sexual predators, for example. That's the role. Put bad actors behind bars. Less than 1% of all reports of child sexual abuse online even get investigated.
Oh.
Less than 1%.
Oh my gosh.
That means 99% of reports don't even get investigated, let alone prosecuted. there is legislation in Congress to give law enforcement more tools, more resources to put bad actors behind bars. That's a legitimate action for the government. Enforce the laws on the books. Let me give you another. Another is what they are doing in Virginia and Florida, which is requiring digital education as part of the school course curriculum. That's a legitimate use. I think similarly, government can come out and provide almost like genius bars for parents. A lot of people don't go to libraries anymore, right? They kind of sit empty for the most part. If you were to have a town hall, if you were to have an information session for parents on here are 5 tips and tools to set up the device for your kids in a way that gives you maximum control, I can guarantee you would fill that library. And that's one of the things that NetChoice is doing with government is we're going out there and working to educate lawmakers, educate attorneys generals so that they have the information to provide to their constituency, to their citizens. So that's the role of government, not replace parents, but help parents.
Speaking with Carl Zabel, he is the VP and General Counsel for NetChoice. We're speaking with him about the Kids Online Safety Act. Carl, many people argue that these types of laws, they mean well, but they undermine parental authority rights and are avoiding the root causes of mental health problems in teens. Can you expound more on that?
So one of the things that we're seeing is, look, kids are depressed. And I hate to break it to everyone, social media is not the but-for cause. Let's remember, like, as much as everyone, myself included, want to pretend like COVID never happened, it did. And as traumatic as it was for us, you know, in our older years, it was completely destructive for our kids. I mean, I watched it. Every parent watched it. And we locked our kids in their homes for 3 years, told them they couldn't go outside. They couldn't go see grandma because if they did, they'd kill her. And we have not, as a society, accepted responsibility for the damage that's done to our kids and the emotional and psychological harm that it has put on our kids. We just kind of ignored it and moved on. For us, we can do that. We have life experience. For our kids, not so much. So what we are seeing is a lot of people who see their kids that are struggling, that are having emotional problems, and they're trying to find some excuse, some explanation, some silver bullet. And ironically, social media, it can actually be a huge benefit. So a lot of kids who are feeling alone, feeling isolated, feeling emotionally insecure can actually find friends, can find communities online to tell them, hey, it's okay. You're not alone. To have that interaction that they were completely denied for 3 years. So social media should not be seen as a good. It should not be seen as a bad. It can be both. Just like any tool, I sometimes analogize it to a hammer, right? Hammers can be used to build homes. They can be used to break windows. And what we need to do is, before we hand our kid a cell phone, before we hand our kid a hammer, we need to teach them how to use it responsibly. We need to teach them good morals to say, hey, I will teach you to use a hammer to build a tree house, but they should know not to use it to break a window. That's the moral component. That's the parenting component. And everything I just described has absolutely nothing to do with technology. It has to do with parents. So that's the thing. We need to get parents back in the art of parenting. And this is the latest challenge for us. Back in the 90s, it was Tipper Gore and rap music. Back in the 50s, it was Ed Sullivan with Elvis Presley. Every society, every parent has had their own technological challenge, but parents have always done it since the dawn of time, because if they didn't, we wouldn't be here. So that's really the answer.
Carl, are you also saying too that these kids nowadays just need good old fashioned home training?
Hey, y'all need home training.
That's, I mean, at the end of the day, there is no technology, there's no device, there's no innovation that will ever replace parenting.
Exactly.
And as hard as it is, parents have to do the hard work.
Carl,
like Bill Belichick. I know you guys are St. Louis folks, but Bill Belichick, right? Do your work.
Yeah, that hurts there, but we'll let you go with that. Carl, give folks more information if they want to learn about NetChoice, or the Kids Online Safety Act.
Yeah, you can find out a lot more information at our website, netchoice.org, netchoice.org. You can follow us on X at netchoice. You can follow me on X. I'm at Carl, C-A-R-L, Szabo, S-Z-A-B as in boy, O as in October.
Carl, thank you so much, and we'll forgive you for the Belichick reference.
He's not my favorite either. But he was right.
Have a great week.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks,
Carl.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we will actually, I forgot we had a guest at 7:05. We will talk about a black job. What is a black job? Gabe and I are uniquely qualified to talk about that next on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Make me stop, no inspiration. You have the soul sewn up, it is no more.
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com.
Making cold my heart to fight your war. Stop it right now.
Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
See your indifference. Stop it right now before you blow us all away. You wanna do that now? Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
What new chaos and crises did Joe Biden start over the weekend? We'll discuss at 4:25 with former U.S. Senator Jim Talent. Red State Headlines at 5:25 with Susie Moore.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Are you ready for positive change in Jefferson County?
Hi, I'm Billy Crow, and I'm running for Jefferson County Council because I believe in a brighter future for our community. I spent my life working hard and listening to the needs of our neighbors. Together, we can build better schools, safer neighborhoods, and a stronger local economy.
Billy Crow has always been there for our community.
I trust Billy to bring fresh ideas and real solutions to Jefferson County.
Vote for a leader who cares. Vote Billy Crow for Jefferson County Council.
I'm Billy Crow, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Billy Crow. Joyce Jenner, Treasurer.
Spend the weekend in Mount Vernon, Illinois. Every weekend, enjoy festivals and events, including Thursday Night Live at Cedarhurst, Market Days Back to School Bash, Hand Up Summit, Historical Village Ice Cream Social, Zombie Outbreak at the Haunted Woods, citywide yard sales, third Saturdays in Mount Vernon Flea Market and Vendor Fair, concerts at the Granada Theater, special events at C.E. Brem Memorial Library, Cedarhurst Blues, Brews, and Bourbon, Cool Up at the Aquatic Zoo, and so much more. Creativity redefined in Mount Vernon. Visit enjoymountvernon.com. Brought to you in part by Mount Vernon Tourism and Enjoy Illinois.
The wait is over. President Trump endorses Bill Eigel for governor. Bill Eigel, true America First conservative and the first to endorse President Trump. Bill Eigel is the only candidate who will take on the Jeff City swamp. Listen to Trump-endorsed conservative Bill Eigel.
We'll round up illegal immigrants and get rid of them, period. We'll ban Chinese ownership of our land and take back everything they stole. And we'll go by how God made us, not some stupid woke pronouns. They'll call us racist, sexist, God knows what else. And that's how we'll know we're winning.
Bold conservative Bill Eigel. Ban personal property taxes. Deport every single illegal immigrant in Missouri. Bill Eigel. Politicians hate him, special interests fear him, and Trump endorsed him. Vote Trump-endorsed Bill Eigel for governor. Believe in Life and Liberty PAC, paid for and is responsible for the content of this communication, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.billpac.com.
Looking to get a new carpet, hardwood, or tile installed quickly and efficiently in your home? Look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a family-owned and operated business with a 30-year history of offering a diverse array of high-quality options in flooring. My parents and in-laws used Michael's to rip up their old carpet and replace it. And they are both happy with the product and installation from Michael's. You can shop at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Darting Prairie, or St. Peters, or you can check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
Hi, I'm Judge Dennis Chasnall, and I'm running for Circuit Judge in St. Charles County. I have 29 years of legal experience and started my career as a prosecutor in St. Charles County, and I've also served over 20 years as a municipal judge in our county. I'm a member of the Assumption Parish and the O'Fallon Knights of Columbus Council, as well as the NRA. The most important thing to me is integrity, experience, and faith for St. Charles County. Please vote for Dennis Chasnall for Circuit Judge.
Endorsed by Steve Ellman. Paid for by Dennis Chasnall for Judge Matthew Renaud, Treasurer.
I think we should be able to have a civil conversation.
The news and talk that matters to St. Louis.
This conversation has completely made me crazy.
This is complete insanity.
News Talk STL. Love the music you hear on the morning show? Check out Mike's morning music playlist at newstalkstl.com.
I never met a girl who makes you feel the way that you do. You're all right. Whenever I'm asked who makes my dreams real, I say that you do. You're outside. So please,
726 on the Tim Jones and the Mike Ferguson morning show, not the Tim Jones and the Chris Sarp show. I got caught up in the music there.
Yeah, you forgot where you were.
I almost was going to break into my radio music voice there and sound like a real DJ. Welcome to
Temptations on News Talk STL.
Temptations. No, I will not do it. Okay. Yeah, we've been teasing this. What is a black job?
Right. So on this, since you're sitting in for Mike, this is currently the blackest show on conservative radio, probably in the country. So I would say we are uniquely qualified to talk to.
We are uniquely qualified. I wonder if we can issue. I wonder if we can send something to the Missouri Broadcasters Award for a special award for the blackest conservative radio show for the year or something. There's got to be a category for that.
Yeah, there's got to be at this point.
I have a lot of Democrat, liberal, African-American friends, many of them from high school, many that I know. I try not to take politics personal. If you disagree with me, fine. Let's go have a beer later and talk about it. Some of my liberal African-American friends comment on my posts. Some don't. Many will send me private. They'll send me private messages and everything. So as you can imagine, Gabe, and this probably happens to you as it happens to me, you become the de facto spokesman for Donald Trump.
Explain yourself. Explain your point.
You basically become the apologist or the spokesperson for Donald Trump. So I was sent a private message by a well-meaning friend that said, Chris, and this was the comment that Donald Trump made at the National Association of Black Journalists convention. He apparently made a reference to black jobs.
Yeah.
So, of course, the black internet was incensed over that comment, and I was having people asking me, Chris, what did the orange man mean by, and that was the exact word. What did the orange man mean by black jobs? And so, me looking at it from a strictly political, non-racial lens, I said, well, if I had to take a guess, I would think that a black job, what he meant by that were jobs that he wants to create for people in disadvantaged communities. But others somehow, Gabe, have taken offense to black jobs. We see Simone Biles. She tweeted out something saying that she loves her black job. And that seems to be a rallying cry for a lot of liberal African Americans on social media saying, do you love your black? I love my black job. My first question for you, Gabe, before you pontificate here, is: do you love your black job?
I do. my black job's doing pretty good. my black job keeps my black behind fat, dumb, and happy.
There you go.
So I'll say it that way. Well, okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. When liberals talk about an issue that affects a particular community. And let's say it's the black community.
Yes.
Because they often talk about certain things. They will put the moniker black in front of anything.
Exactly.
So, it's like, hey, you at the very interview that he was in right there, we're talking about black journalists. And she and her first question was about, you have called black broadcasters this, and black politicians this, and black journalists this. Well, look, if you're going to use a language in a certain way to mean certain things, and I adopt your language, why are you going to get mad at me about it?
Yeah.
But let's actually look at the particular issue. Now, I think Donald Trump used black jobs in two kind of particular ways. One was in reference to the illegal immigration problem, which and he was saying that it was particularly bad on black jobs. They're coming across our border, they're taking black jobs. Guess what? That's true.
Yeah.
That's a matter of statistics.
What is to be offended about that? But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the question.
Yeah.
So it's like there was just a study, the outsized impact on the black community of illegal immigration. And it shows that, among all of the various demographics, black people, particularly in the big cities, are suffering the most because of the influx of immigrants. I won't say immigrants, illegal aliens.
There you go.
Illegal aliens are messing with the black community, and he pointed it out. Now here's a problem. is if you are a leftist or a liberal and you say, well, this particular policy affects this particular community in an outsized proportion, you say that that's a problem.
Yeah.
If a Republican says this particular issue is affecting the black community and black jobs in particular, that's a problem. And now you're going to get mad at him about it. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then the other way that he was using it was his opportunity zones. He was talking about how there are disadvantaged areas, in various communities where he was trying to make money available in order to encourage development. How many black politicians go out there and say, we're trying to bring jobs to our community. We're trying to help our community.
Keep the dollars in the black community.
Black community. You need to go to black businesses. Well, those are black jobs. Why are we getting mad about it? The only thing I can think of is like, hey, we can say it, but you can't say it.
I guess so.
I think that's really all it is. And instead of being a white and black thing, it's very much a political thing, because a white politician, a white Democrat can talk about black jobs. I guarantee you that.
Now break it down to me. How was saying black job? How was that racist? Because I didn't really delve too deep into the conversation because it was so monumentally stupid that I didn't want to hurt my brain trying to figure it out. But why is black jobs? How was that racist?
Okay, now I suppose if we're going to steel man their position, right? Instead of straw man, we're going to steel man their position. The suggestion is that there are that the stereotypical black job is low skill and what do you call it? They're low skill menial jobs that the illegal aliens are going to come and take, or what have you. That's the suggestion, is that they are not engineer, they're not Olympic level gymnast, and so then the backlash is, well, my black job is this high thing, my black job is this high thing. Well, here's the thing: if you are a black person with a job, you have a black job.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to use these monikers in political discussions, you have a black job because you're a black person with a job.
There must be a lot of shoulders that are out of whack this week for reaching that hard.
Oh my gosh,
for racism, because that was a complete reach. Gabe, thank you for clearing. I felt as a black person, I should understand what a black job is, but I couldn't find the racism. Well, I hope some of my friends.
The orange man can't say black.
Orange man can't say black. Orange is not the new black.
Exactly.
You're listening to the Mike Ferguson in the morning show. 7:34. We'll be right back with more talk on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
I'm gonna try to make you love me too.
Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Tim Jones here with Dr. Pat Fader of Comprehensive Chiropractic. Doc, I hear you all have a new treatment program for everyone's chronic knee pain.
Tim, that's right. We are helping patients with chronic knee pain by addressing the root cause of their condition.
And what makes your program so unique?
Well, Tim, many programs focus on just one component of the problem, the structural component. Our program focuses on the metabolic and neurological component to complete the picture and improve our patients' outcomes. We get to the root cause of what is driving inflammation in a person's body and address it directly.
For your chronic knee pain and more, visit cchiropractic.com. All information, make an appointment at cchiropractic.com.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
We all know the Olympics began with a blasphemous portrayal of the Lord's Supper featuring transvestites. Of course, the Olympic Committee apologized, saying it was never our intent to offend. Well, now I know how to say offend in French. Mock the Lord's Supper. We can still be proud of our U.S. Olympians, even if they did not win gold. In fact, we can be proud of all those that competed, except when they cheated. Prime examples, men boxing in the ring against women. The first, an Algerian who previously failed the International boxing gender test, but was allowed by the Olympic Committee to box a female. She forfeited after 46 seconds, saying she'd never been hit harder. Then a man from Taiwan, posing as a female boxer, beat the woman he faced in the ring. That should make him and his nation extremely proud, don't you imagine? You know, in the animal world, you don't have this kind of nonsense. Take a look at horse racing. Female horses can run against male horses. They can do that. But the males are not allowed to enter races featuring mares and fillies, female horses. In other words, the Olympics lacks horse sense.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
My sponsor, Wellington Environmental, has helped thousands deal with hazardous materials. Hospitals, offices, schools, even homes. Here's something new. Wellington now offers dustless blasting. This is just like sandblasting, but without all the dust and emissions. Wellington uses everything from ground glass, walnuts, corn, even dry ice pellets. One university had Wellington remove their parking lot striping because dustless blasting is fast and it does not damage the concrete. So as a business or homeowner, I'm sure you could use this process. Industrial tanks, swimming pools, graffiti on buildings. And in fact, Wellington is blasting a Texaco station that will be revised as an historic building. Check the website for details and photos. WellingtonSTL.com. WellingtonSTL.com.
Missourians, our future is under attack. Tax Hike Mike is fixing to devour your hard-earned money with gas taxes galore and another sky-high fee on your next car purchase. Kehoe's policies will flat-out destroy your wallet. His big old bus is fueled by donations from Chinese communists and George Soros surrogates. But there's hope. Jay Ashcroft, the true leader who fights with integrity against the lies, higher taxes, and the Jefferson City swamp. Vote Jay Ashcroft for governor now.
Paid for by Friends of J. Ashcroft PAC. Alexandra Lang, Treasurer.
This is Katie McKinney, founder and head of school for Lafayette Academy in Lake St. Louis. Recently, we had a new second grader come to Lafayette Academy who claimed he was stupid and hated reading. Within months of using our world-class literacy program, he was reading Harry Potter and loving it. He had just not been given the right tools. This is what true education is all about. Giving our kids the tools so they can be successful. To learn more, go to LafayetteAcademy.org. That's LafayetteAcademy.org.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Live and local.
Welcome home. And whoosh, sitting in traffic, stuck in a jam, and being entertained by Vic and thunder-stealing Ken.
This is News Talk STL.
Hey, this is Larry Connors. Make sure you're listening later today at 6 o'clock on News Talk STL for my show, Larry Connors USA. Now, back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Well, my friend,
You know, one of the great things of having Joey Vasevich, Joey V is our producer on the Tim Jones and Chris Harp show, is he is also a movie critic. And so on Fridays, we have Joey talk about upcoming movies that he sees. And movie he mentioned last Friday was Deadpool
and Wolverine.
I'm not a big Marvel Universe guy. I go see the movies. I don't know any of the plots. I can't remember the last movie. I can't tell you how they all tie in.
That's why Gabe needs to go with you.
Yeah, I just
you need me to do an explainer before and after the movie.
And I still won't get it. I enjoy a good, suspend reality movie, and watch all that. So my wife and I went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine over the weekend. I'm not going to give away any spoilers and everything, but man, it was
well, the main spoilers are just the cameos.
Yeah,
honestly, for that movie, the main spoiler, like there are no plot spoilers. Nobody cares.
Yeah, okay. Well, I gotta
really
tell you, I'm sounding like my age of 58 years old when I say this.
This stuff is just too
wow. It was extremely violent movie. We were talking about this during the break. The most violent movie scene I've ever seen in my life was a scene from The Kingsman. And it was a scene where they were in a church.
Yes.
And I'm probably exaggerating it because it seemed like it was this long, but it was just 10 minutes of just wanting mayhem killing by one band. I mean, he killed at least 150 people in about 7 minutes.
He did kill a church full of people. It was a lot of people. he had some John Wick numbers on
It
that.
did. And Deadpool was very similar. A lot of killing, a lot of blood, and they have the AI enhanced blood now. So it's
it's splattering everywhere.
Splatters everywhere. Now, I tell you one thing that made me uncomfortable, and I know in today's society things are a lot open-minded than when I was growing up and everything. But I just thought, have you seen the movie, Gabe?
I've seen it twice.
Oh, okay. I was bothered by all of the homosexual,
all the gay jokes
references. I mean, a couple I can get that, that's fine, but it was just one after another, and the scene when Wolverine's body was glistening as they're trying to deal with that
at the end,
and he like looks at his hairy stomach and was like, I was like, I almost like upchucked my milk duds.
Oh no. Well, see
that
was more of a meta reference though. That was less of a homosexual reference as it was a meta reference. Because
I don't get it. What does that mean?
Because Hugh Jackman is a jacked man. Like that's the thing. You got to remember the whole thing about Deadpool Wolverine is it's Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
They have an exterior bromance to the movie where they both make fun of one another as well as kind of concede to for the sake of the movies. Hugh Jackman for each movie gets jacked.
Okay.
Every movie he comes out,
pretty buff.
he looks and he's 50 something years old.
Yeah.
I mean, so every movie he comes back more jacked than the previous movie. If you see him in the first X-Men movie in 2000, he looks like a fairly fit regular dude. And then as the years get on, he gets more and more jacked.
Those movies have been around that long.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. He has played that character for 24 years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Like I said, I never.
You never.
I don't get into.
You're not paying
the
attention
movies,
to all this stuff. Well, and that's part of the thing. The Deadpool and Wolverine movie is kind of a love letter to that whole franchise for the last 20 years. So there are a lot of things you're gonna miss if you weren't kind of ensconced in it. So
tell me this, and I don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
Sure.
As a Christian, did all of the gay homosexual references, did they make you kind of cringe a little bit, or are you like, this is what I expect, this is the movie?
Well, the thing is, it would if I didn't expect it. I guess maybe that's the thing. What usually happens when I go to the movies is there's a certain level of expectation that I have for the movie based on the trailer and based on what I know. Like if it's a franchise, it's based on what I know about the franchise. So I go in and I expect one thing. And what's been happening in Hollywood is they'll give you something you weren't expecting because they're trying to send you a message. And that's the stuff that really gets my back up. It's like, why are you pushing this on me? Deadpool makes gay jokes. That's the thing. Deadpool kills people in brutal fashion. He takes a lot of punishment and he makes gay jokes. That's what he is.
Yeah.
So I went into the fully expecting, okay, that's what's going to happen.
This is what I don't understand. And I know these type of movies, Becky's like, Chris, sometimes you have to suspend, your imagination, your reality and everything.
Suspend your disbelief.
But okay, they're immortal, right? They can't be killed, it seems.
They regenerate almost instantly.
Okay. They regenerate almost instantly. And it's like, okay, they're being stabbed in the heart, blood's flying everywhere.
Yes.
But they're like expressing pain. I'm like, how does that hurt? I mean,
it still hurts.
It still hurts, even though you can be stabbed in blood and everything goes. Okay.
Well, think of it this way: if you got a finger prick on, you get stuck with a needle for your blood draw or something like that. Well, after a couple minutes, it hurts when it first happens, and then you hold on it for a minute, and your body fixes it. It says, okay, we're bleeding. Let's stop that. You got your platelets, you got your scarring, you got all this stuff, and then I don't have any prick. I've been stuck with needles, all my life for blood draws every year at least, and I don't have any scars for it. So that's what the body naturally does.
I should
the superpower is that happens almost instantaneous. That happens super fast, and it happens for even the most egregious of injuries. So they feel the pain, but it just closes up almost instantly.
Still, I should have known a comic book nerd would have like the perfect.
You stepped right into
I
it,
can't
pal.
even like.
Hey.
Usually I can like refute it or have like, no, wait, but what? But
This is my wheelhouse, bro.
I'm like, I can't even refute any of that.
Well,
I'm
you know,
like,
Goat
okay,
Lady
makes sense.
Goat Lady makes a comment on Rumble that the rivalry between Reynolds and Jackman.
Oh yes, that's
has
part
been
of
a
the
fun
thing.
rivalry, and that folks really get into it and think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's because it's there's been a lot of meta things, basically things outside the movie related to those two guys.
Okay.
It's the main fun that people are drawing is to see their characters that they play also interact in a similar way as their real life selves do online and things like that. So it's just fun.
And one question for you, Gabe.
Yep.
Could you let that ugly ass dog lick your face? Seriously.
Well, first of all, I don't let any dog lick my face. I loved my pooches, but they knew not to lick my face.
That's one ugly dog, and that dog is one ugliest.
Yes,
dog.
that's the ugliest dog
like
competition
win it
winner.
every year. Is there any dog? I mean, he's got to be the reigning champion.
I don't think there's any that compete with
that
him.
is one ugly dog.
And that's the joke.
But now he's in the movies.
Yep.
So 7:47 Monday morning. Chris Arp sitting in for Mike Ferguson in the morning. We've got more talk with Gabe and Stell coming up on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
Lose yourself in wild romance. We're going to.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL.
Sing along. We're going to party.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Come on and sing along. All night long. All night long. Yes, all night long.
Hello, this is Eric from Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. If you are looking for a local family-owned jewelry store, come in and meet the Newsteaders Fine Jewelry family, a St. Louis tradition for over 60 years. Let us introduce you to unique and one-of-a-kind pieces. While here, we'd be happy to examine and professionally clean your jewelry at no charge. If it does need some maintenance, we can give you an estimate right then, and all of our repairs are done on site. Visit us at wowdiamonds.com.
Are you tired of establishment politics? Meet Adam Schnelting, your true conservative choice for state senate. Adam Schnelting, husband, father, soldier, and member of the House Freedom Caucus. Adam authored the legislation that ended abortion in Missouri and is the grassroots candidate Jefferson City fears. Unlike his opponent Phil Cristofanelli, who's backed by lobbyists and Democrats, Adam's support comes from right here in St. Charles County. It's time for real conservative leadership. Vote Adam Schnelting for state senate.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John Royal, Treasurer.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at piccadillypalace.com. That's piccadillypalace.com.
Hi, this is former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch, and I am endorsing Mark Harder for the State Senate Race 15. I know firsthand, Mark has been a strong supporter of our police and first responders. Over the years, we sponsored legislation together to increase funding and equipment for our county police. We worked together to crack down on car and catalytic converter thefts and the proliferation of drugs like fentanyl in our community. Mark Harder is the right choice for voters in West County on August 6th.
Paid for by citizens to elect Mark Harder, Chuck McCluskey, Treasurer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com.
Hey, it's Joe Pags. Catch me tonight. But right now, back to more of Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
7:51 on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show. Gabe and Stell with me here in studio. We mentioned it at the very top of the show, Stell and I, about how the stock market has not been doing well the last couple of days. The Japanese stock market lost 12% on their Monday session. We're looking at the screen now. So what was it? The futures market was down.
Futures were down almost 1,300
almost
points.
1,300 points. Stock markets opens in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes or less. We're not financial experts here, but what are you guys predicting? Stell, I know you watch this stuff kind of closely. What do you think?
I think the thing that maybe scares me the most is computer trading and how it's so involved in everything that goes on. So as soon as there's any type of little move and adjustment, you've got computer trading kicking in, and it just seems to exacerbate the whole issue.
I'm just wondering what can soothe the markets and take away the jitters. People are speculating because last Friday we had a jobs report where we only had 114,000 jobs created when they were expecting, I think, 160,000. People have been wanting for weeks, months now, for the Fed to cut interest rates to spur the economy. There is talk of a recession. We last week hit a new milestone when it comes to the national debt. We're now at $35 trillion. I don't even think Gabe's massive brain can comprehend $35 trillion in debt. So, oh my God, that's a lot of folks are speculating on why the stock market is doing well. Can't be good news for Kamala Harris's presidential prospects when Joe Biden has been touting the 15 million jobs that he has created, and all of us know that most of those jobs were jobs that came back after COVID, after the government was shut down. So not a good time in the financial markets. And one other thing too that's probably affecting the stock market and giving it jitters, you have the unrest over in Europe over the weekend in Great Britain regarding illegal immigrants. The people over there are fed up. 3 little girls were stabbed to death. The person was a British citizen, but he has a foreign sounding name. And just like the media here in the United States, the media in Great Britain is not giving you a lot of information on who this person is, what's his religious affiliation, what is his motive. They're just trying to paint the people that are rioting. When you never condone violence, of course, but they're just painting the people that are upset about this as quote unquote right-wing hooligans who just want to burn and loot, when they're upset when they're seeing their country being taken over by illegal immigrants. And as we know, we have no problem with immigration. Most Western countries have no problem with immigration.
I mean, just like actual immigration.
What we have a problem with is illegal immigration. And the left has been so successful in conflating those two issues and making it seem that if you want secure borders, then you're somehow anti-immigrant. And on top of all that, we have the United States, or not the United States, but Israel on high alert. They are expecting any day now a retaliation from Iran for the attack that killed the Hamas leader on their soil. We talked about it this morning before you came in, Gabe, that the president late last night was in the Situation Room regarding this situation over in Israel. Remember what happened a couple of months ago when they sent 300 missiles and drones towards Israel,
and we were discussing this with Stell. They may have learned something from that first attack, and could be the second time around could be a more lethal attack.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. We've got the West kind of self-imploding because of the breakdown of the social order. We've got the rise of international tensions moving closer and closer to World War III. If we had a doomsday clock, it would definitely be closer to midnight. And all the while, we've got an absolute moron and a celebrity apprentice who's honestly done a decent job as president, up for the presidency of the most powerful government in the world. So it feels as though we've been hit with that Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times.
And we haven't even mentioned Ukraine. It's almost the forgotten war, almost all of that going on, affecting our day-to-day lives and the stock market. 7:56. You're listening to the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show. Chris Arp sitting in on 101.9, 94.1 News Talk STL.
News, analysis, opinion.
She continued to emphasize she's a DEI type of a director.
Members on both sides of the aisle called for her resignation.
101.9 and 94.1.
I'm glad she's no longer going to be the head of the Secret Service. I wish she had been fired.
News Talk STL.
From home improvement to replacement, do-it-yourself electrical projects can be shocking. That's where Grasser Electric can help. They've been lighting up St. Louis for years. From ceiling fans and dimmer switches to repair or replacing your electric. No job is too big or too small for your home or business. Grasser Electric will even install emergency backup generators. So call Grasser Electric today before the sparks start to fly. 636-441-5200 or go to grasserelectric.com.
Tired of talk about election integrity? Shane Scholler takes action. As the chief election authority in one of Missouri's largest counties, Shane's proven plan stops non-citizens from voting and secures our elections. A lifelong conservative, Shane stands firm, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, and ready to protect your vote on day one. Don't just talk about stopping fraud. Elect someone who's done it. Shane Scholler for Secretary of State. Learn more at shaneforsos.com.
Paid for by Scholler from Missouri, Justin Hill, Treasurer.
Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor. Connor Roofing is now a two-time winner of the National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction for roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. Please visit ConnorRoofing.com for an estimate. And remember, you can count on Connor.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmostscholars.org. That's herzogmostscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
Looking for the ultimate golfing experience in St. Louis? Look no further than Sugar Creek Golf Course. As the most popular golf course in the region, Sugar Creek offers 18 holes of challenging play, designed for all skill levels on rolling country hills with stunning views. But it's not just about the game, it's about the experience. Friendly staff, new Yamaha golf carts, freshly paved cart paths, and renovated clubhouse will make your day on the course a pleasure. Sugar Creek Golf Course, the perfect place to bring your team or friends together. Book your tee time today at sugarcreekgolfcourse.com. That's sugarcreekgolfcourse.com.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 101.9, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Roaring ashore is a Category 1 hurricane. Debbie is working its way inland after landfall this morning along Florida's Gulf Coast, coming ashore near the tiny community of Steinhatchee and the Big Bend.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
We have requested
a federal disaster declaration, and that has been approved.
DeSantis says the storm is roughly following the same path as Hurricane Idalia did nearly a year ago, just not as powerful.
We are looking at potentially really, really significant flooding that will happen, particularly in north central Florida as this storm makes landfall in Florida.
Debbie is expected to eventually stall over the coastal regions of Georgia and South Carolina. I'm Donna Water.
And forecasters say Savannah and Charleston could see up to 2 feet of rain over the next several days. The Israeli military says a Hezbollah drone attack on northern Israel wounded 2 Israeli soldiers, also sparking a raging fire.
The Iranian-backed Hezbollah says in a statement it's targeted a military base in northern Israel in response to attacks and assassinations carried out by Israel in several villages in South Lebanon. The attack does not appear to be part of a more intense retaliation expected in response to the killing of Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukur by Israel last week. The two sides have exchanged near daily strikes against the backdrop of the war in Gaza, but have previously kept the conflict at a low level, not escalating into a full-on war. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
You might want to resist the temptation to check on your 401k today. Stock markets from Tokyo to Paris, London to New York are tumbling on fears of a recession in the U.S., aggravated by Friday's dismal July employment report. Ahead of this morning's opening bell, the Dow futures down 1,246 points. NASDAQ futures off 1,054 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hello, this is Franklin Graham. Does it feel like the world is coming apart the seams? It does to me. What do we do as Christians? Do we just sit back and let it happen, just waiting for Christ to return? And we just sit on our hands? No, we don't do that. He's called us to action. He's called us to take the gospel to the ends of the earth. And that's what we do. As Samaritans first we go. And we go in Jesus' name, whether it's with a truck full of shoebox gifts or an army of volunteers ready to help wherever they can, or whether we fill up one of our cargo planes and respond to the far corners of this earth. Wherever there is a need, we go and we help in Jesus' name. Don't just sit back and wait for Jesus to return. You have one life. Make it count.
You can be a part of taking the gospel to the ends of the earth. To find out more about Samaritan's Purse and how you can be involved, go to SamaritansPurse.org. That's Samaritan.
From the Michael's Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Piccadilly Palace, located in Union, Missouri. The ultimate family fun center is Piccadilly Palace. Call 314-860-6418 or visit piccadillypalace.com.
The wait is over. President Trump endorses Bill Eigel for governor. Bill Eigel, true America First conservative and the first to endorse President Trump. Bill Eigel is the only candidate who will take on the Jeff City swamp. Listen to Trump-endorsed conservative Bill Eigel.
We'll round up illegal immigrants and get rid of them, period. We'll ban Chinese ownership of our land and take back everything they stole. And we'll go by how God made us, not some stupid woke pronouns. They'll call us racist, sexist, God knows what else. And that's how we'll know we're winning.
Bold conservative Bill Eigel. Ban personal property taxes. Deport every single illegal immigrant in Missouri. Bill Eigel. Politicians hate him, special interests fear him, and Trump endorsed him. Vote Trump-endorsed Bill Eigel for governor. Believe in Life and Liberty PAC paid for and is responsible for the content of this communication, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.billpac.com.
Mike Ferguson.
We the people.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
It's not rocket science. Rocket science.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm? Get up! Get up!
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
$8:05 Monday morning, August 5th, 2024. Chris Arps sitting in for Mike Ferguson, who was out today visiting his lovely mother. And I hope he is enjoying his time with his mother. I wish I still had my mother with me to do that.
Yep,
so
same here.
those of you who still have your mother, cherish them because they won't always be here, as you know. Gabe Pfeiffer, Stel Ponticus in the studio. Big news day today. We are all anxiously awaiting Kamala Harris's VP pick. The two front runners apparently are Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. She has said that she will make that announcement either today or tomorrow.
Despite the fact that supposedly somebody leaked information over the weekend.
Exactly. that she will make that decision today or tomorrow. And after she makes that decision, her and her running mate will be embarking upon a 7-state battleground tour to generate more excitement for the Kamala Harris campaign. I talked about it. And there was a story that came out. It was Laura Loomer. And so a lot of people don't give her a lot of credibility, but she had the receipts, as they say, that showed the Kamala Harris campaign recruiting influencers, telling them that we will pay you $1,200 if you write this particular article. Her campaign is total social media grassroots. Like I said, the only people I really do believe that are truly excited for her are the Deltas, the Thetas, and the AKAs. Other than that, lukewarm support for her. We've got Tuesday elections tomorrow here in Missouri, the Missouri primary. We had on at 6:05 Bill Eigel. He is, of course, state senator from St. Charles County, and he is running to secure the Republican nomination for governor. You can go to our website, News Talk STL, if you want to rehear that podcast. And at 7:05, we had
Carl Szabo
with that choice, talking about the Kids Online Safety Act, or KOSA. If you want to hear more about that interview, also on the podcast on newstalkstl.com. And then we're all anxiously awaiting the open of the stock market. We're all, we're no stock market experts.
No,
anything,
not at all.
We're not expecting to see a banner day and corks, champagne corks being popped.
No, in the words of the Bengals, it's a manic Monday.
It's a manic Monday to your lips. Hopefully not to the stock market.
So Chris, you're not expecting the VP announcement to set the market ablaze with eager activity and what did Axelrod call it?
I hope it does.
Irrational exuberance.
I hope it does. It does. And then the world is waiting with bated breath on Iran potential attack on Israel. They have vowed, they have vowed to avenge the assassination of the Hamas leader on their soil a couple of weeks ago. So, a lot going on in the news today, locally, internationally, nationally. We've got the Olympics still going on, of course, over in where the hell is it? France. And it's getting to the part when I do kind of pay attention when they start the boxing and the track and field events. Those are the ones that have my keenest interest, if that is a word.
Well, apparently you're not paying attention to the women's boxing, because that's also just gonna have.
Did you do air quotes when you said women's boxing?
Because it's gonna have two dudes competing for gold in the women's Olympic.
Are you serious?
Boxing. Yes, absolutely.
I knew there was the one that beat the hell out of the one girl where she quit after 45 seconds. She did a no mas Roberto Duran. It's like she said she'd never been hit that hard in her life.
I think that guy's from Algeria. He Allahu Akbar. He says no. That was part of his post-fight interview when he guaranteed himself a medal.
You had to throw that in there, though.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there. And then there's also Lin Yuan, or I think something like that, out of Taiwan.
Okay.
Who is basically in the same boat. They're both XYs. Those are XY people. According to the last test that was conducted, because there was no test for the Olympics here. A gender test. That's what we're talking about.
What is the odds of, you're an intelligent man. I know you're not a geneticist, but what are the odds that we're having people have XY chromosomes but identify as a woman, have an extra chromosome that makes them male? What are the odds of that in the world, and what's the odds of them being
meeting in the
athletes
Olympics?
meeting in the Olympics?
Well, the odds improved as as
the
people,
opponents were
as people decided,
destroyed.
as governments decided
Yeah.
that these things don't matter as much as they used to. So look, if at every level they had been stymied from being able to compete in women's contests, they would have been forced to compete in men's contests, we wouldn't have seen them at the Olympics.
And what I don't understand, I guess, I don't understand how you could, in good conscience, be like the
Be okay with
swimmer
this?
Leah. I mean, you're like you're winning gold medals, you're setting records. Yeah, that's great, but you're a man.
You're a cheater.
I mean, how in the world could you feel good about yourself or feel good about your achievements, knowing that you have an advantage because you're a man, and that you've cheated all of these women out of their rightful place in terms of scholarships, in terms of these women have been swimming since they were little girls, spending hours and hours in the pool to get to the championships in college, to get to the national championships, and then to the Olympics. And then this man who's ranked 185th in the world as a man
among men,
becomes a woman and then dominates.
And
And then on top of that, still, the feminist groups who are supposed to be there for you in Title IX and all that,
they've disappeared.
Are silent.
Yes. And you have the IOC massaging everything as though to make it all valid and legal. And we had talked about it last Thursday and Friday. Mike, Gabe, and I had talked about, as you just mentioned, the Title IX issue and how that seems to dovetail with all the issues that are going on at the Olympics. We have an administration here that obviously doesn't care if women have to deal with men in their sport. You have Riley Gaines trying to stand up against these folks, and you have an administration that decides, well, you know what, by August, all these universities and all schools need to have Title IX revised, and you have to let men participate in these sports. And this is totally insane.
Do you think these people really realize how fundamentally it is unfair of what they're doing? Is they want to look like they're open-minded and fair, so they're allowing a man to compete with women, and they don't see the fundamental of unfairness to the women. It's like this person's rights transcends these people's rights. Do you think they even see that? They're just so caught up in just trying to
win votes,
win votes, change the natural order, the whole nine.
Well, what we're seeing here is the success of radical feminist indoctrination in colleges. That's honestly what we've been seeing, for a while now. It's gotten to the point where it keeps feeding itself. It's eating its own tail in some ways, where the radical feminists who graduated, 20 years ago now are they're professors, and so they're teaching the radical feminism even more radical than they did before. So the kids coming out of these institutions, they think, well, the most important thing isn't, that I have to be important. I have to be on the quote right side of history, and in order to do so, I have to, force this ideology wherever I have an opportunity to do so. But Chris, you mentioned, where's the accomplishment? Where's the sense of accomplishment? For jumping into that whole thing. And I want to talk about this story here. I can't remember exactly what race it was, but a Kenyan runner was a few meters away from the finish line in a marathon, and he got confused about the signage, and he thought he had finished the race, so he started to slow down. The guy behind him, Ivan Fernandez of Spain, he helped him across the finish line. He's like, no, the finish line is up here, and he let him win, the Kenyan, because he was ahead. And when questioned about this, he was like, look, I think the reporter insisted, you could have won. And Ivan looked at him and replied, but what would be the merit of my victory? What would be the honor of this medal? What would my mother think of it?
Yeah.
So that's rare. For some reason, that idea, that honor is pretty much gone in the West. And that's why it's so refreshing. It almost brings you to tears to hear it. There are still people with honor, but they're so few and far between.
And it reminds me of the commercial that you see during the Olympics. I forgot which company is sponsoring it, but it shows a scene of two runners, one falls.
Oh, yeah.
And he helps
He picks
one
him up.
up. And then apparently there's this little girl that's watching, and she's out on the soccer field, and one of her competitors falls on the ground, and she helps her up. So they're trying to foster that,
I suppose,
in a sense. But when you see this insanity of men competing with women, especially in these dangerous contact sports like boxing, where you can kill someone, it's just insane. And maybe I just answered my question, but you guys, what do you think it's going to take where people are just going to just wake up and be like, this is insane? We have men competing against women. This is unfair. It's unsafe. What are we thinking? We've gone through this little experiment of trying to change the natural order and everything, but this is a failure. This is crazy. What were we thinking? What's it going to take to get to that point still?
Someone severely injured or killed, maybe?
Yeah.
That's what scares me about it.
You would think so, but we've already had it. And that's part of the problem is, there was a lady in MMA who got her whole face shattered.
Yeah.
Basically, her orbital bone was destroyed. And I think she stopped fighting in MMA. There was a girl in high school in a volleyball league who got hit in the face with a ball so hard that was spiked by a male competitor on the other side that she's partially paralyzed on her right side.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she commented on this whole boxing
Yeah.
thing. And, I think this was 2 years ago. She was 17 at the time, and she's 19 now. Commenting now via Twitter, I think, about the whole thing. It's like, what's it going to take? I'm not sure even a death in a sport is going to be enough for these ideologues.
Because we have a judicial system that will not stand up for women also. There are girl high school athletes on the East Coast, I want to say Connecticut, I'm not sure, I think it was Connecticut, who filed suit because of boys winning in their track events. And the judicial system stood up for the boys.
This is a great segue because maybe you guys can enlighten me on this, because I just get sick of these type of stories because they're so commonplace nowadays. But it's become a national story about the transgender male that wanted to undress at some club in Ellisville. I know
Lifetime Fitness in Ellisville.
Did you know a lot of details
We
about it?
talked about this the other day.
Well, when we come back, I want you guys to enlighten me, because I just didn't want to read the story because I'm sick of these type of stories and overlooked it, even though I'm a talk show host. I should probably kind of know it.
Do your job, Chris.
But I'm human. My black job.
Yeah, you're black.
My black job.
As a
So
radio host.
we'll talk about the situation in Ellisville when we come back on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on 1019 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Before you blow us all away. Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin. Get rolling, he can give the Cardinals the lead. Swing and get up, baby, get up, home run.
On Saturday, August 17th, the Cardinals host the Los Angeles Dodgers. That night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will leave with their very own Scott Rowland bobblehead. Thanks to Amaranth. Don't miss your chance to add the newest Cardinal in the Hall of Fame to your collection. That's the Scott Rowland bobblehead night, Saturday, August 17th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Back by popular demand in 2024, it's the Cardinals Belt Bag. On Sunday, August 18th, the Cardinals are going to host the Los Angeles Dodgers. And on that day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home an exclusive belt bag thanks to Phillips 66. That's Sunday, August 18th. The Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the popular Cardinals Belt Bag giveaway. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
By now, you've heard Adam Schnelting's false attack ads. Don't buy his lies. Adam Schnelting says he opposes the transgender agenda, but he's trying to conceal the truth. Schnelting has received more than $71,000 from liberal trial lawyers. Those same trial lawyers supporting Schnelting also gave over $100,000 to a liberal group that supports men playing girls' sports, supports men using girls' bathrooms, and even supports gender mutilation surgeries for minors. To make matters worse, Adam Schnelting says he supports our gun rights, but he's received thousands from leading anti-gun lawyers that filed a massive lawsuit against gun makers and gun owners. But that's not all. These liberal lawyers don't just fund Adam Schnelting's campaign, their anti-gun lawsuits, or the transgender movement. They've also been leading funders of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and even the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. Adam Schnelting. With friends like that, conservatives just can't trust him. On August 6th, don't forget Adam Schnelting. He's loved by liberals, and he lies like one too.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I heard the call to serve, so I answered. I earned a title and discovered my purpose. I found belonging, an unbreakable bond with my fellow Marines. We fought to overcome adversity together in defense of our nation and its people. I've lived a full life, rich with meaning. And even though I no longer wear the uniform, I am still a Marine. My service has come full circle. I will always look after those around me. I will always uplift and support my country and my community. Because that is the promise I made. That is what it means to be a Marine. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always Marine.
The tides are changing.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL.
Dan Bongino here. Keep it on News Talk STL because my show starts at 11 a.m. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
For once in my life, I have someone who needs me. Someone that needed so long.
Stell, go ahead. 8:21 on the Tim Jones and Chris Hart show. Stell singing there, adding.
For once in my life.
Stell, stop! I can't do the show. I can't do the show with that. But Stell, you got a good voice. Were you in the church choir?
No, never was.
Oh, okay, you got a nice voice.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I'm serious about that. Welcome back, Mike Ferguson in the morning. Chris Arps sitting in. This has become a national story now about a transgender woman, male. Get confused.
Just say a gender confused man.
Gender confused man.
Yes.
Who apparently wanted to dress and undress in the women's locker room at a local club in Ellisville. It's become a national story now. As I said before the break, I have not been following this at all. I'm tired of these type of stories. I figured it's, you've read one story, all of them about a person that wants to use the, opposite restroom of their assigned sex. All right, you guys talked about this last week. Enlighten me.
Yeah,
what's going on?
So Lifetime Fitness, they had an individual who was causing a ruckus, essentially. I mean, now it wasn't.
He acted a fool.
Well, according to reports, there were a number of ladies who complained to their management about someone who was behaving inappropriately, a man who was behaving inappropriately in the locker room. There was discussions about genitalia hanging around.
Yeah.
And
I like what you did there.
Yeah, hanging around. And of course, and just inappropriate, like sexually suggestive moves or body positions or stretching and that kind of thing that, that was going on. And they're like, so they complain, as they should. Now, of course, Lifetime Fitness has a policy, and they've held this for nationwide for years now. Because I saw a similar story out of, I think it was North Carolina or Georgia, somewhere in the South, where people were kind of doing this. But no, Lifetime was upholding their policy to allow that man to be there.
Similar to Planet Fitness.
Similar to Planet Fitness. They were coming to his defense. Well, who were we talking to about
Justin Sparks? We were talking to.
Yeah, we were talking about Justin Sparks, and I believe there's some action going to be taken. And we were also talking to was it the AG that we were talking to about bringing up actually a potential lawsuit and just because of Missouri still has statutes about indecent exposure and things like that. It's like, hey, just because the gym allows you to be in that locker room doesn't mean you can, swing yourself around in front of people.
I like those swing references.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So So I think there's been some discussion, at least in Missouri. It's like, sure, Lifetime Fitness, you could do some things, but maybe not here in Missouri.
And the thing is, look, I am a lifelong capitalist. I like businesses, entrepreneurship. I think
Free enterprise, right?
Free enterprise. I think that's the way to go. But some of these companies now, they are so caught up in the politically correct agenda. And I know part of that is because Blackstone or whatever the group has these Blackwater has these social equity things where they get rated on how open-minded they are. So a lot of these companies have these policies because they want a good rating. But you would just think good old-fashioned common sense.
Not Blackwater. That's a
BlackRock.
Yeah, BlackRock. That's right.
You would think just good old common sense is, probably women probably don't want to be in a locker room with someone who hasn't fully transitioned. How's that, Gabe?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a good way of putting it?
Well, and
you're going to lose customers because women don't want to be in this locker room with someone who hasn't fully transitioned to their wannabe sex.
Right.
I mean, what am I missing?
Well, here's the problem. The ideologues who are crafting these policies, enforcing them, even some of these CEOs, they are fully indoctrinated. I've been talking about this for a little while now. Just I think we're reaching a sort of inflection point, or what's it like? There's a term for when a nuclear reaction goes critical. So we're
way over my pay grade on that one, my brother.
We're reaching that point where the people who are at the heads of these organizations, businesses and these institutions in our society are so indoctrinated, so fully committed to their ideology that the normal checks on their behavior don't work. A typical check on their behavior is like, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop buying here. He's like, you're going to lose money if you do that. That used to be a thing. That used to be a way to get people's attention. And on some level, there are some places that it still works. Right. I think farmers, I can't remember there's a recent business that had their tractor supply.
Oh, farm supply.
Yeah.
Farm and tractor supply.
Tractor supply kind of caught it, and then I think Harley Davidson was getting a little bit of it too. I think they corrected their behavior because of some of those issues. So, it still works on some level, but there are some companies that they don't care.
You know what a lot of mentality is, and I've read this, where a lot of these companies are willing to take a little pain in the short run, but they think this is where society is evolving to and will eventually be. And so we want to be out in front of it before society gets there. And we're willing to take a little short-term pain, some profit loss in the short term, because we know this is where society is going to be. And you look at the millennials, there are the millennials and Generation Y. They are the ones that are accepting of homosexuality and are more open to things that your generation, our generation, and Stell's generation would think was abhorrent. They know that they will accept these things. So they're willing to just wait them out because they think this is where society will be eventually.
Well, it's not so much that they think that that's where, well, maybe it does. I mean, ideologically, they think that's the progress that we're moving to. When they call themselves progressives, and you're like, okay, well, what are we progressing to? This is part of that vision of what they see as the future. And I guess that's what they mean when they say being on the right side of history. Now, of course, they're not going to let things simply develop that way. They're going to push it.
Tell me this, does this surprise you? Gallup came out with a poll probably a few weeks ago that showed support for same-sex marriage appears to have hit a ceiling in the U.S. It finds that 69% of Americans think gay and lesbian unions should be legal, statistically unchanged from the past several years, but there are stark differences between the parties. 83% of Democrats, 70% of independents continue to back it, with support relatively steady among both groups. So gay marriage, homosexual marriage is accepted now pretty much, but it seems to have hit a ceiling. Do you think that's permanent, or do you think it's gonna continue to rise?
You know, honestly, I'm not really sure, because I think one of the things that the LGBTQ community is
X, you forgot
experiencing.
X.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's CIA
Oh.
A plus also. So there's,
that's another segment.
There's all kinds of things. There's all kinds of things in there. Yeah. So the alphabet mafia, we'll
Right,
call them.
exactly.
They're experiencing significant backlash now because of the whole trans issue,
Yeah.
because of the whole gender confusion, because of the mutilation of kids, because of the sexual indoctrination of kids, in schools and those things. See, that's where they cross the line. So now everybody's catching the heat because they identify as a singular group. Which is one of the reasons also why you get the LGs and Bs starting to want to get rid of the Ts, because they're like, you're messing up the whole deal. Well, it's kind of like the what was it? Is it Dave Chappelle who had a whole bit about the four of them in a car, the L, G, B, and the T in a car, and it's like, wait a minute,
Sounds like a
something's wrong here.
Yahtzee game or something.
Well, I mean, it's a great setup for a joke. I mean, really, but honestly, I'm not surprised because I predicted we would get here when the marriage decision came down from the Supreme Court. I was like, okay, all this support for gay marriage is going to turn into a crap show, and this is some of the consequences of it. Some of the religious right, as much as they failed politically to kind of make some moves back in the 80s, they were very predictive in some of the things that they were saying we're on a slippery slope towards.
They were. That is Gabe Pfeiffer, the philosopher, the rocket science, the genius, expounding on that important societal thing of gay marriage becoming more and more acceptable, but may have hit a ceiling. 8:31 on this warm August 5th morning. You're listening to the Mike Ferguson of the Morning Show on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
I have something I know won't desert me. I'm not alone anymore.
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com.
Long as I know I have love,
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
August heat hits hard today and tomorrow. Loads of sunshine on this Monday, a weak southwest wind. Afternoon temperatures climb to 98 in St. Louis. Enough humidity in the air to push that heat index as high as 104 this afternoon. We're going to be in the 90s until about 8 o'clock this evening, and then we're mostly clear overnight, lows in the mid-70s. One more hot and humid day Tuesday, and then a rare August treat. We're talking about a drop in temperature and humidity from Wednesday all the way through the weekend. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Fox News commentary.
Donald Trump invited Kamala Harris to debate him on September 4th, but on his terms. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now. Message and data rates may apply.
Donald Trump's June 27th debate against Joe Biden literally knocked him out of the race. Trump crushed him so badly in one night, his party finally waged their coup on his candidacy and then cleverly pulled the bait and switch with Kamala 100 days before the election. That's why Donald Trump is well within his rights to set the guidelines for his first debate with Kamala, and he did. Trump is calling on Kamala to face him on September 4th in a debate moderated by Fox News in Pennsylvania, and this time with an audience. Trump also rightfully pointed out the previously scheduled ABC debate was against Joe Biden, who dropped out. Why in the heck should the Democrats be able to plug and play their new candidate and then set the terms? The Trump campaign has every right to set its own conditions, and the American people deserve to see Kamala Harris questioned by the only network that isn't fawning all over her. Even Gavin Newsom was willing to do a debate on Fox News. Why wouldn't Kamala be up for it? I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless at Outkick.com.
On August 6th, your vote will shape our community's future. Introducing Representatives John Simmons and Kyle Marquardt, two candidates with starkly different records. John Simmons, a staunch conservative, has consistently cut taxes and defended parents' rights for education choice. He believes in limited government and safeguarding our privacy. Simmons even championed legislation to secure our elections, ensuring integrity at every step. In contrast, Kyle Marquardt voted to expand welfare and increase government spending, and also supported invasive, warrantless government drone searches. When it comes to protecting your rights and hard-earned money, the choice is clear. John Simmons is not just making promises, he's delivered real results. It's time to make your voice heard in the Republican primary. Vote John Simmons, the representative with the proven conservative voting record. Paid for by Nova PAC, James Murphy, Treasurer.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Tony Colombo here for Cadre Asset Management. A cadre is defined as a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession, and that is the role that Cadre Asset Management can play in your financial journey. Learn more about how they can help secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or just go to cadreassetmgmt.com.
Cadre Asset Management is a Missouri-based independent advisory firm licensed under and securities and investment advisory services offered through Founders Financial Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
Need reliable auto service from people you can trust? Look no further than Western Tire and Auto. For over 15 years, we've been your complete automotive repair center, family-owned and operated, with owner Dean Cleathermes bringing 30 years of industry experience. At Western Tire and Auto, you're not just a customer, you're family. We promise 100% satisfaction, treating you with the transparency, respect, and honesty you deserve. Visit us in St. Peters or in Florissant. For appointments, call or check westerntireauto.com. Western Tire and Auto, your local automotive experts since 2008.
News, analysis, and opinion.
Let the American people see what's going on here.
News Talk STL.
Pay close attention.
St. Louis is #1.
Bottom line is this. St. Louis is #1.
For conservative talk.
News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Vic Porcelli.
And Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Vic.
Ken and I are on every Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, right here on News Talk STL. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Whoosh, my morning people.
This is our
We'll let that play a little bit still.
I know there's no way
8:37 on the Tim Jones and Chris. Oh, not the Tim Jones and Chris Hart show. That's at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Today, this morning, it's Mike Ferguson in the morning. I got a little hypnotized there because Stell's playing the Mighty Spinners. Was that their official name, the Mighty Spinners, or was it just the Spinners?
I think it was just the Spinners.
Because they always were kind of known as the Mighty Spinners, too. So
okay.
I don't know. Gabe, you're black. Are they?
No, I am black.
Mighty Spinners?
Are they the Spinners, or were they the Mighty Spinners?
I am black. However,
Yes.
I am a young black
Yes,
man.
you are young. But remember, you said you've got siblings that are much older, so
That's
you were
true.
a few years ahead on the music.
my music does kind of skew a little older sometimes, but I can tell you though that most of my brain power is reserved for knowing minutia about comic
There
books
you go.
and sci-fi franchises and fantasy franchises, but not music.
I can understand. I was just thinking, Stell, you played that sounder there of the great Vic Porcelli, and I was thinking, Gabe, how fortunate we are just to be able to work with St. Louis radio legends. We work with Stell Pontique, who's here. Everyone knows Stell from his radio days. We work with Larry Connors. We remember him from Channel 4 and Channel 2, the Great News Day, News Talk. And Vic Porcelli just came in. I saw him. Now, you heard how chipper Vic sounded there in that promo.
Yeah.
I saw him when he walked in before he gets his coffee.
He's not.
Yeah, he doesn't
He's
sound
not
like
there
that
yet.
or look like that.
It's gonna take a little bit.
Just to show you how out of it Vic is before he gets his coffee. He walked past us here. You can see on the stream past the glass. I banged on the glass to get his attention. He didn't even hear me.
Yeah, usually that'll get somebody's attention. As you
I had to go out of the studio and say, "Hey, old man." When I said that, he turned around instantly. For some reason, he heard
that crease.
When I said "old
deep.
man," he heard that. But
you needed to say "Yo, Vic."
Yo, Vic. Speaking of Vic Purcelli and Ken will be on in about 20 minutes here on News Talk STL. Always love listening to them. I always say that Vic and I hope this is not too personal, but Vic and I take showers together. I listen to his show while I'm in the shower.
And he's like, "Don't say it like that."
He said we don't drop the soap. But anyway, that was Vic's line, not mine. But
and I go to sleep with him at night.
Exactly. But
these are These are Deadpool jokes.
Yeah, Vic and I. You know what? I am being hypocritical.
These are Deadpool jokes, man.
Yeah, Vic and I take showers every weekday morning around 9:30ish or so. Let's talk about former President Trump. He has not had the best week, 10 days or so since Kamala Harris was installed as the Democratic nominee. He is refusing at the moment, Tim and Stell and Gabe, he is refusing to attend a scheduled ABC debate with Kamala Harris that is scheduled for September. He wants to do a Fox debate as well. He has said that he will do the Fox debate, but he will not do the ABC debate. Of course, the Harris campaign saying that President Trump is afraid to debate Kamala Harris. Your thoughts on Donald Trump's debate stance, Gabe?
I think it's silly to say that he's not willing to go to places and adhere to rules that don't favor him, because we've seen him do it a number of times already. That CNN debate was not in his favor. Everybody was arguing, hey, the no audience thing, the no interruption mic thing, all of those things favor Biden. Well, he didn't make it to the next debate, which was agreed upon with Biden. And I think that's the other aspect of this whole thing. He agreed to debate Biden for that scheduled debate.
Right.
So just because
that's a good point.
Just because the Democrats decided to install a new person into that position doesn't mean he's obligated to meet the criteria of the agreement with the previous party.
Good point.
So it's like, okay, this isn't like a bank loan, and this bank just bought the loan from the other bank, and you have to adhere to the same policies. No, you canceled. That's what happened. You canceled, and now you have to re-up.
Well, let me give you a sports analogy quickly.
Okay.
He's been playing a lot of away games.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's due a home game.
He's due a home stand.
Stell, that's a good point that Stell made and that you made, but does this hurt him politically? Do you think with this
that's
debate?
Such an interesting question.
Does it hurt him politically, even though it is? We think it is the right thing. He needs a home game, but does this hurt him politically?
It's a good question because, and I think people need to always remember this. Just because it's the good and right thing, one way or the other, the way it plays to the public politically, the way it results in the polls, which is ultimately the final poll that we need, that we use to determine winners and losers, that's more important than whether or not it's good and right. And I think that's tough for us regular folks to get our heads around sometimes, because it's like, of course, why would he? Well, if it doesn't play well with the middle, who you have to court to win the general, then maybe take a different tactic. So I don't know.
Stell Ponticus?
I think of the sports analogy, and from my perspective, I don't think they've been playing the game fair, and keeping all these away games for him gives mainstream media the opportunity to spin it exactly the way they want it. So I'm saying, hey, go ahead and give Fox News, or maybe even somebody like Real America's Voice, or some, another alternative media, give them an opportunity. Have Brett Baer in there instead of Jake Tapper. Have an opportunity to have hopefully more balanced moderators conduct some type of debate that at least would be, I think, on more equal ground.
All right, here's a sports analogy. If you are the wild card team in the NFL playoffs, you got to play home games to get to the Super Bowl. Your thoughts?
I have no idea what.
Oh, you mean if you're the wild card team, you're gonna play away games.
You're gonna play away. Yeah, you're gonna play away games.
Yeah.
To
get to the playoffs.
get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't consider Trump a wild card, I guess.
Okay.
I think he's earned the opportunity to have a home game here after so many away game appearances.
I think politically, if they could actually get a hold of the argument and get a hold of the momentum, they could make the case that Kamala is the one who's running away from going into quote unquote hostile territory. She's the one that is afraid to do these things on non-friendly terms. Because right now they keep casting it as though it's Trump who's trying. He just wants a friendly audience again. He just wants a crowd of sycophants in the audience to yell. Well, he's already done already done all the other stuff. It's like, what more do you want? He spoke in front of a very hostile journalistic organization just the other day. So how much more do you want him to walk into the lion's den? They shot at him in Pennsylvania. It's like if you're the campaign manager for Trump and you can't spin that into a lose position for Kamala Harris, what are you doing?
Trump is up 50-49 in Georgia, according to the CBS poll. It's always good to be at 50%, but this is a very, very close race. The president had a rally in Atlanta over the weekend where he kind of reignited his feud with the governor Brian Kemp and with Brad Raffensperger, who both won their re-elections pretty handily. We need to be reunited. We need to be united, especially in Georgia.
Yes,
that's one of the battleground states. I'll ask both of you guys your thoughts. Was this a good thing to reopen a feud with two Republican statewide office holders who got reelected even after he bashed them?
I don't have any problem with him going in there, to be honest with you.
As much as he's kind of the king of the comeback, he's also the king of the unforced error. And it's one of the things I really hate about the way he conducts his politics is like there are things you don't have to say. Maybe it's just because, I kind of live by the mottos, like never miss an opportunity to shut the F up. Because sometimes it's better not to say something rather than to rankle. It's like, okay, what's the goal? Is the goal to win? Or is the goal to get your shots in? Yeah. Because there are all kinds of losers who get their shots in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Now we have all made fun of Kamala Harris's word salads. I've joked many times on the Tim Jones and Chris Arp show that I think her cackle, I think her word salads, I think some of the things that she does because she's high. I honestly think that she takes gummy supplements, or she may toke in the back of the Naval Observatory where she lives. But I honestly do believe Kamala Harris is stoned half the time when she's making these comments.
And I think you can put that onto her policies too.
Exactly. President Trump issued a bunch of Truth Social posts over the weekend. He was calling Harris, quote, has a too low IQ and quote unquote dumb to debate him. Again, is this an unnecessary, unforced error? I know we love it. MAGA crowd loves it. Republicans, conservatives love it.
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But
I think he called her a ding dong too.
Ding dong. I made a joke about that. Just the ding dongs, and when he said that, and I was like, well, at least he didn't call her a ho-ho.
Or a Twinkie.
Oh, my gosh.
A ho-ho would probably...
Pete Buttigieg would be the Twinkie.
Yes.
Sorry. So, continue.
I did that too. Does this hurt or help President Donald Trump in the long run, calling Kamala Harris too low IQ and dumb to debate him? Or is this, people will say this is just par for the course for Donald, and we'll just...
Now, me, just because I've already made my decision. I made my decision a long time ago. There are a lot of people who already know who they're voting for, and nothing is going to change. Almost nothing is going to change that. They're not affected by this, but I wonder about the middle. Do the people in the middle say, man, if he would just tone down the so-and-so, I could hold my nose to vote for him? you can't piss off the hold your nose crowd because you need their votes too.
Because I think we came out of the convention thinking, you know what, if that's going to be his tone,
he's caught
for the next couple of months, then okay, we're on board and we will support him totally.
Yep.
But I agree with you, Gabe. If you're going to step in it every once in a while, then that's not a good thing.
And even the Democratic pundits and strategists say that this is President Trump's race to lose. As we noted in the CBS poll, he has a huge advantage when it comes to who will better handle the economy. We got one more segment up. We'll try to wrap it up with something a little light. Another company is leaving California. I'll tell you who that is on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning Show on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL.
Knew just what to say. Now I found out today that all the words had slipped away.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I know there's always a chance.
Tony Colombo here, along with Tim Jones for Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Rodney and Jen are the #1 home selling team in the area, and I could say that from personal experience. They sold our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible, which put us in a great position as we tried to find our perfect new home. And with help from the Wallners, that's exactly what we did. Christine and I couldn't be happier with our experience working with Rodney and Jen Wallner. And Tim, the numbers speak for themselves.
That's right, Tony. Everybody knows the Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. And if you're looking to sell your home, right now they have so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. They're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the St. Louis region, you can put the Wallners experience and work ethic to work for you. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call Rodney and Jen Wallner now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD for the Wallner home selling team.
Friends, Joe Biden's inflation is hitting us hard. Gas and grocery prices are soaring, and our paycheck buys less and less each day. But as your representative, I fought for lower taxes, cutting wasteful spending, and bringing jobs back to Missouri. I stand for hardworking families, not Jefferson City insiders. I ask for your vote again so I can continue to fight for you. Vote Philip Olerking for State Representative, District 100. Let's make Missouri strong again.
Paid for by Phil Olerking from Missouri, Charles Barker, Treasurer.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby, only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
I'm so tired of my water smelling like rotten eggs, iron-bound. It makes my clothes and home smell, and my sink and faucet look dirty. I'm calling Jones Air and Water Treatment for their solution to this pollution.
Jones Air and Water Treatment has a solution to your pollution. Call now for your free water analysis at 636-899-1040 and live with clean, great-tasting water. That's 636-899-1040 or joneswater.com on the web. Call us now.
Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler, along with daughter Sammy Tobler-Gregory, a team member here at our family-owned Body of Health Direct Primary Care Practice. Sammy, what are patients telling you about their experience at Body of Health?
I can't tell you how many patients I've had come to me and tell me they just so appreciate getting to sit across the table with their doctor and chat about whatever's going on with their healthcare needs for however long they need.
Want to learn more about healthcare the way it ought to be? Schedule a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
Colombo and Company.
It's going to be a busy week. The Dems VP announcement is expected soon. Tuesday is Election Day, and we've got you covered on all of it. Susie Moore is my co-host Monday, and we'll talk to Virginia Cruda from the Daily Wire at 2:20.
Live and local weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL. Love the music you hear on the morning show? Check out Mike's morning music playlist at newstalkstl.com.
Let me tell you now. 8:54 Monday morning.
I want you back.
It's going to be a.
It sounds like you know this song.
I
Chris.
do.
You
This
know
was
this song?
my
You-
childhood.
Stell, do you guys know this song?
I was like 5 or 6 years old when this came out, man. I love this. 8:54 on the Mike Ferguson in the Morning show. Another big company is leaving California, guys. This company has been in California for 140 years. They are moving to all places, Texas, where it seems most companies are moving. It is Chevron, the huge oil company. I think they're the number 3. Oh, they're the second largest U.S. oil company behind Texaco Mobil, I think.
Oh, my God.
They are moving to Houston, which, of course, is already a huge energy center. I was reading somewhere, and I should have gotten more information on it, but they are moving because Texas has a better business climate, of course. But I think they are under threat of some huge lawsuit from the state of California regarding green energy and all of that nonsense. So they are up and moving out of California to Houston. They're joining all of the other energy companies that are there. Gabe, this appears right up your article, right up your alley, excuse me. Elon Musk has a company, of course, called Neuralink, which allows paralyzed people to move things using their brain power. Nolan Arbaugh, he was paralyzed from the neck down after an accident. Now he says that he had to learn how to tune Neuralink software to his brain patterns and get the gist of turning thoughts into actions. He taps into his implant 10 to 12 hours a day, only giving it a rest when it's charging or when he is sleeping. And we talked about this during the break. This is wonderful news to help people that are paralyzed. But I'm wondering, are people going to be able to read your thoughts eventually on this?
Now, one thing I want to caution everybody who's worried about this stuff about is that thoughts are much more complex than movement. So I
I'm
think
sorry to do this to you. I was
no,
thinking
we're good.
50, I think we had another minute, but I forgot.
said it goes fast, man.
Vic Porcelli is up next. You've been listening to Mike Ferguson in the Morning. Chris Arbs, happy and privileged to sit in. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Stell. 1019-94.1 News Talk STL.
My name is Justin Sparks, and I am running for re-election to the Missouri House of Representatives, District 110. I have been knocking on thousands of doors, and I want you to know I've heard your concerns. As a former police officer, I heard your concern about the wide-open southern border and wanting to keep our neighborhoods safe. I will continue to fight to protect your Second Amendment, and I will fight to protect the lives of the unborn. I will fight to keep the woke ideology from infecting our schools and affecting our children's future. Go to sparksformissouri.com and tell me what you think, and stand with me on August 6th.
Paid for by Sparks for Missouri. Tim Fitch, Treasurer.
Nate Lucas here for the Village Bar in the heart of Des Peres. Since 1948, the Village Bar has been the go-to destination for delicious food, cold drinks, and unbeatable atmosphere. Savor their famous wings, burgers, and onion rings, or grab a drink from their fully stocked bar. Catch all the big games and enjoy the company of their friendly staff. Plus, don't miss the 1879 Distillery, a one-of-a-kind experience right next door. The Village Bar offers the best value in town. Find the Village Bar on Facebook and come experience where history meets great times. You'll be glad you did.
The wait is over. President Trump endorses Bill Eigel for governor. Bill Eigel, true America First conservative and the first to endorse President Trump. Bill Eigel is the only candidate who will take on the Jeff City Swamp.